All right, everybody. How's it going? This is the Cheech and Manny show. This is Cheech Carrerio, and we have a great show today about the mighty Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska album, which Manny turned me on to, and I am now in full blown Bruce Springsteen mode. Unbelievable. So how's it going, Manny? I know you're excited about talking about this album because you talked about it a long time ago.
Yeah, and speaking of our when we were doing our 50th episode, we were like reflecting on our conversations working side by side, with the priest and at the temple. But yeah, no, I always told you how much I love this album.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that you're discovering the magic of this album,
Oh yeah.
which is amazing. And I'm just so happy that you're also discovering the mighty boss and how incredible he is as a
Oh,
songwriter.
definitely. Like, I was always a Bruce Springsteen fan, and I got into Born to Run like as a kid because it was, I mean, literally on the radio. I think my parents had the album. And then, I know like a lot of the songs off of Darkness on the Edge of Town, and from the radio, but I didn't really like. I can't say I was a huge Springsteen fan, and like I said to you, I blame Iron Maiden and I blame heavy metal,
Well,
because it's a
I
different.
was gonna say, I remember you telling me. I'm not saying that. You said this in the exact way I'm saying it, but you're like, yeah, his music is kind of corny. It's kind of like
Well,
that. No,
I,
you're like, it's like that. It's like that. John Mellencamp,
well,
horn.
that was the '80s stuff. So like, because
Right.
I grew up in the '80s, and I always respected him, the working class guy. And when I was a kid in the '80s, it was like long hair, Maiden, Metallica. If you were listening to Bruce Springsteen, my group, like you weren't cool. But I always loved the
Well,
hit.
be honest with me though. But
Yeah,
when Born in the USA came out, right?
yeah,
I think that's the album that everybody that was cool, right?
yeah, yeah.
Right. Even I would say I'm not saying like I love my heavy metal brothers and sisters of any heavy metal female fans. Actually, shout out to one of them, one of my former students. But everybody loves Springsteen. Dude, like this album, I was looking at the history behind it.
Yeah.
Born in the USA, dude, he was the major
Oh, yeah.
star of the time, and you
Oh,
wouldn't.
I always watched his videos. Born in the USA, Glory Days. And I gotta say, I bought the album for. I owned the Springsteen album in the '80s. Going Down. Was that on Born in the USA?
I'm going down.
I loved that. I got
Dude,
so
wait, did
I
you own the single? Like the single?
bought the album for the song.
Oh, that's Born in the USA,
Yeah,
yeah.
I owned it, and at the time, like, being ignorant when you're like 14, 15, if you were not listening to Maiden and Fate's Warning and Scorpions, you were just like, dude, why are you listening to Bruce Springsteen? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, because he was popular, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel, oh, and this is my point, Cheech. Be honest with me. I don't think the girls were listening to Fate's Warning or Iron Maiden.
Believe it or not, in the '80s in Portchester, they were there was a lot
Okay.
of there was a lot
Okay.
of metal chick, like the '80s was
Are
all
you
about.
sure though? Because I know from like I guess because you know me, I'm like also like into statistics. Like statistically, um, it was mostly a male demographic, and I remember there definitely in the heavy metal community there was an in group in terms of like if you were caught listening to let's say Michael Jackson, even though he's amazing, right? Talk about Thriller that came out around the same
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
or even Dire Straits,
yeah. Well,
another.
we all love Dire Straits, see, because
Oh, okay, okay. So something
because
about Bruce
because
Springsteen, you thought it was
there
like,
was Mark Knopfler. He was a great guitar. If you were in Guitar Magazine, you got to pass. Mark Knopfler. Um,
no. And Cheech, isn't that a shame? You discover how underrated of a guitarist
I
Springsteen
know.
is.
Oh my God. unbelievable. But there were girls like when I grew up in the '80s, girls loved heavy metal.
Okay, okay, I'm wrong then. Sorry, I apologize.
it wasn't just a guy dominated thing, but it was like, and I talked about this on the grunge show. Only me and a couple people watched the Alternative Nation 120 minutes, and you'd be like, "Oh, did you see the new the Cure, the new Cure song or the new Replacements?" And you'd have to whisper it because they'd be like, "What are you, a pussy? You're listening to that whatever they called it back then, goth or that kind of thing." And you just
I can only imagine if you were caught listening to Duran Duran.
you got to pass.
What? Okay,
Angel
I am gonna have to do my archaeology on this. That's interesting.
Well, with me, they got to pass because of John Taylor because he was such a great bass player.
So musicianship, and that's a shame because again, and the only thing you discovered is how mighty of a band the E Street Band could be.
Oh, well,
One of the
when we would talk about Bruce Springsteen, we'd be like, "Wow, this guy's doing 4 hour shows.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
more than Iron Maiden." So this guy is out there killing it. So we respected Bruce Springsteen, but it wasn't something. When Power Slave came out, either in
Which was massive, right, for
yeah,
Iron Maiden?
Power Slave or Born in the USA, they came out the same year. We all got Power Slave, so it wasn't like, you know, uh, Bruce, because Bruce was like Michael Jackson and Bruce was like Madonna. He was a darling on MTV, and everybody knew who he was. He was an icon.
Well, it's crazy because the album had 10 songs. 7 became top 10 singles,
Yeah,
which,
yeah,
dude, that's on like, and the only one that beat him, I mean, that year was massive. And that I would say like that year period,
yeah.
Michael Jackson, oh my God, he
Thriller.
releases Thriller.
Yeah,
You had like Dire Straits releases that massive album.
yeah,
And at one point, I think Tears for Fears and their songs from the Big Cherry, they became massive as well, like joining
yeah.
that multi-platinum where and Springsteen, and it's so cool that he built up to that. But I guess let's take it back a little bit. And we're gonna take a ride through like, no man's land. And
Yeah. But I
oh,
will say, as a kid, um, Born to Run, I knew the songs from the radio.
no, and Born to Run's interesting because that was in 1974, 75.
Yeah,
So, and it's interesting because from that period to 1984 or 1985, with the release of Born in the USA, right? You had these two, and I would say they're kind of very different albums.
yeah,
Like they're very different. Like it's kind of like you would really have to listen to them back to back. But yeah, and I love how you said, your first exposure was Born to Run.
yeah. And that was just being a kid driving and driving in my car. Did they have a song "Driving in My Car"?
He has a lot of car driving songs.
Like driving in my car. I don't know. I think that's one of his Springsteen songs. I can't think of it, but he it would be on the radio. AM, FM radio, and you just knew it was in my DNA, like AM Gold is. Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah.
Uh, and then I gotta say, being the metalhead prog head, watching those videos of Born to Run that they would show on MTV, and there's a prog section in it that's like Rush, it goes.
Yeah, when we get to Born to Run, I'm gonna be happy to. You're gonna do in the research too, but um, that album, and one of the reasons why it's different, but without going too much detail, but that album is composed,
Yeah,
so it's like a prog rock album in a way because prog rock you have to compose every single thing, like
oh
everything
yeah,
is every single note and instrument. Like, not saying that on a record like any rock record doesn't matter but
yeah,
especially Prague and especially Bruce Springsteen, you're right. He literally was trying to craft like a wall of sound, and the way he described, what he was trying
yeah,
to do is insane.
yeah,
Yeah, very proggy in a way, especially the movements, because it's a song that has a lot of like tones and ups and
yeah,
downs, and musically it
yeah.
is diverse. Yeah, I agree with you.
But like for me, we respected him. We liked him. But like I don't know, when you're 14, 15, you got a Maiden
Yeah.
I was close-minded.
Right.
Unless, unless you were, we liked Sting, of course, because he was a great.
Well, when he was in the police before he was Sting.
Yeah, yeah, like because he was a great bass player. Like,
Right. I will say, but just consensus wise, from my research, I understand that so when Springsteen released Born to Run, he was everywhere. Again, like Born to Run,
yeah,
and he would do
it
it
was.
again about 10 years later with
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
the
Born in the USA is even
longevity.
more massive. The girls loved him, by the way.
Oh,
He
oh
became
yeah,
sort of like
yeah,
he became like a sex symbol at one point.
yeah.
Um Not with Born in to Run per se, but definitely Born in USA.
Oh yeah, yeah,
He
yeah,
cleaned up his image, and with the
yeah.
advent of MTV, I think that was another
MTV blew him up, and,
recipe.
and I gotta say, he was not a sellout. Thank God. You
No, and that's the thing. He isn't. He was just continuing the same
Yeah,
themes, which is
just
crazy.
just with that '80s production. Like
Yep.
you can compare him to Rush in a way, because Rush was out in 1975.
Oh, I was gonna say, speaking of Rush, that their massive moving pictures was like,
Yeah,
not released at the same time, but almost like in that period.
well, yeah, Rush came out in Fly By Night in '75. Born to Run comes out in
Yeah.
1975.
Yeah.
Or 70, and then 1985 you have Born in the USA. Rush has Power Windows,
Yeah.
and they're both changing for the better. They grew as artists, they grew as performers, and they embraced '80s technology. So Bruce, Born to Run does not sound like Born in the USA
No.
production.
No,
But
it's different.
it can't. It can't. It's the '80s. It's like the mid
No,
'80s.
no, and it's crazier still because and I guess we'll talk about it. But they're just, yeah, very different albums,
And
sound
let me
wise.
say something. I think we didn't play it live, but Seance, because of me, did do I'm Going Down. So now that I think about it,
That song's fan. You ever heard like the bass line in that song?
oh yeah, that was
Yeah,
like one of
I
the
was gonna
reasons.
say, and just I love the song. I'm going down, down,
Yeah,
down,
I
down, down,
I,
down, down.
I
It's
remember.
production wise is beautiful. I mean, the song is actually a little depressing, but it's fantastic musically.
I have a funny story about that song. I remember I was in a bowling league and I was 16 years old, and I kind of had a crush on a woman who was in the league, and she was about 22 and married, and everybody used to drink at the bowling league, and my parents were in the league and everything, and I would be sneaking wine, and me and her would always talk. And then at one point, like her husband was there and stuff, and she would kind of flirt with me. And then I think somebody said to me, "Yo, stop talking to her, my mother or something." And I'd always sing like every time I'd go near her and talk to her because I really liked her. I'd be like, "I'm going down." That's my memory of that song. Being
Eh,
a 16-year-old kid trying to hook up with a 24-year-old married woman drunk on canoe. Was it called canoe or canai wine? That's what they used to drink in the '80s. So, you know,
I love it. I love it. But before, I guess I love that. Then we'll talk more about that song. But I think now let's
yeah,
and this is interesting how we kind of sequence this, but we are actually not going to be talking about those two massive records.
no,
But instead, we are gonna go a little backwards because I think that's how you're discovering.
yeah. I
Like,
discovered the way I discovered Springsteen. Like for me, wanting to have an interest in writing about him was Nebraska. I was like, holy Christ,
yeah,
this is Dylan. Like born again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and that's really important because we just did like massive episodes on Dylan, and we are going to conclude with Desire, which is an interesting Dylan record and perhaps one of his finest. But Springsteen, you're right. I would say he is. And I know this might be a hot take. He is kind of Dylan perfected
yeah, yeah,
in that he's able to craft these songs. First, he started out like with Born to Run, right? He started very, poetic, a little fantastical, a little magical, but there's always
yeah,
darkness underneath. And then he started evolving.
yeah,
And it wasn't until this album, he was already doing it. But this is the
yeah,
first album where he decided, you know what? He tapped into his inner Dylan and did a John Wesley Harding where he should have released an E Street version of all these songs, but instead,
That's what he should have done like later on in like the millennial,
I
you
wish
know.
he did. Like he should have recorded all of them. And what would
He did play some live though with them.
and the live versions, in my opinion, are better than the acoustic
Yeah,
ones.
yeah.
Like because I know a lot of people because with Nebraska, like a Dylan album, you especially his acoustic stuff, you need to listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do. And I feel like that's why, in a way, this album, although successful, was not as successful as its legendary follow-up, Born in the USA, right? Which
Yeah.
musically they, injected with like, you know, amphetamine and
Oh God, yeah. I mean, it was
um,
Born in USA is one of the best produced albums of the '80s.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What was that? Phil Ramone? It was some.
No, it wasn't Phil Ramone. I mean, we'll talk about it when we
Yeah,
get there.
but the production of it was like way ahead of its time. It was
Oh
the
yeah,
better produced albums to come out. It was like, you had like the Dire Straits album you talked
yeah.
about. Obviously, Thriller was a masterpiece. So
Yeah. In contrast to and to return to Nebraska, this is a very stark,
oh,
and we'll talk about it
yeah,
musically,
when I get
but
into what he recorded it on, it's funny. You're gonna like laugh, like
no,
what?
it's crazy. But I guess we'll do a deep dive.
Yeah.
Teach take us into this
So
journey.
we'll start off with 1982. What was the musical climate? And I had Number of the Beast, came out. So Number of the Beast is up against Nebraska. Not that the metalheads were going to buy Nebraska, but
Oh, and by the way, before you continue, another reason why and again but you mostly you, which was good, chose Nebraska is because the movie that's coming out is based on him recording
oh
Nebraska.
well, that yeah, I forgot this. I forgot. Thanks for bringing that
No, no,
up.
no. That's another main reason. So
Yeah,
this
because
will be our Nebraska episode. So after people watch that movie, which I think is going to come out in September, October,
yeah,
hopefully people will watch this video and watch our video and get more deep dive into the
because
album.
when I was writing, I think Desire. Every time I'd go to listen to Desire on YouTube, the Springsteen trailer came up.
Hmm.
And then I got to text Manny, but I don't want to break my thought. I don't want to break my thought. I got to text Manny. So finally I did. And then you watched it and you were like, holy shit, this is about the Nebraska period. And then I went and then I was like, Nebraska. And then I always heard you talk about it. Then I went down the wormhole and I said, I'm hooked on this album and I got to write about it. And I literally automatic writing wrote the whole thing, and it had the Nebraska's about Starkweather. So now
Hmm.
that also mixes in with our true crime. And by the way, I just started to write Starkweather, an episode on true crime. He's the next one I want to do, and let me tell you, that dude is complex. Holy cow!
Hmm.
If the Son of Sam was brutal, or Ramirez, this dude might be worse. This is a sicko. So just to throw that out there, and we'll get into them when we do Nebraska. So Combat Rock by The Clash, The Mighty Rush Signals, Asia, the big album that they did, Asia, Michael Jackson Thriller, Prince 1999, Led Zeppelin Coda, and Van Halen. And I'm sure there's other ones, but I mainly put a lot of hard rock on there because that's what he was up against on the charts.
The rock charts, yeah.
There was a lot
And
of
you said Iron Maiden released Number of the Beast.
yeah.
I mean, that's and that put them on. It's like he and that's important because if anything, this time period was like one of
Oh,
the
huge. I mean, I don't mean
no,
to
it
cut
was like a golden age of
Asia came out.
yeah, with their
Heat of the
massive
moment. Heat
album
of the moment.
and talk about like because Asia's members were for the longest time in the prog rock genre.
Yeah.
And then they blew up in this album, which they combined all their knowledge of
And
what.
they put prog Asia's genius because they put like prog rock with commercial radio. You ever hear the hits that the drummer Carl Palmer is doing on
Mhm.
Heat of the Moment at the very end? Just listen to the snare drum. It's total.
Hmm.
Prague. If it was it's like Achilles' last stand. Um, so John Wetton and Steve Howe, Carl Palmer, are creating this genius pop with prog elements that you got to that they weaved in. Diver Down, Van Halen, classic, Pretty Woman, the Roy Orbison cover.
Hmm. Hmm.
Going back to Bruce Springsteen, Roy Orbison, huge influence,
Right,
kind of a
right.
parallel. Uh, Iron Maiden blew up on this. Asia.
Yeah, but
Um,
anyways, the point is like it's
yeah.
like a big year,
It's
and
a huge year for music. Prince.
very similar to how Bob Dylan's John Wesley Harding was dropped in a huge year. Like
Right.
he went against, and it's just interesting because why Springsteen did this. I mean, it's anyone's theory. But Springsteen himself is sort of a little mysterious why he decided to do this, but I know, and we'll talk about it in the history a little bit, but it's just this year he should have released, maybe he could have released Born in the USA and he would have been like huge or
I
maybe, oh, I
don't
don't
think,
know.
my opinion, Born in the USA wouldn't have worked. It came out at the right time in 1984, and it's only 2 years later because MTV is not really. MTV is just coming up. It started
Yeah.
in 1982. I don't know if he did any videos for Nebraska. Probably not.
I don't think so. I think there's just one I've seen. I don't know how old it is for Atlantic City.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So continue, Cheech.
All right. So we'll move along. Nebraska. Okay. Nebraska. The singles were Atlantic City, Open All Night, were the two singles. Bruce's sixth studio album came out in 1982, was recorded in his bedroom on a 4-track recorder, I guess in his farm in New Jersey. He was going to record with the E Street Band, but he rejected the idea. He recorded 17 tracks and he only used 10. The other songs were made to go on Born in the USA a few years later. He was coming off the River Tour, and it was a huge success, huge album, huge tour. But he felt he lost his role as an artist. The River success made him feel conflicted about being separate. I guess he was becoming a star, and I guess he didn't kind of like that. You know what I mean? Like it kind of bothered him a little bit.
Yeah.
So it conflicted him. He was going through a midlife crisis too, and he was worried he was going to wind up like his dad. And you could talk a little bit about his dad.
Yeah, and I'm reading right now. I started his Born to Run autobiography, and I'm on like I'm in part one, chapter like four, and I will say, yeah. So I know we talked about what did Bruce Springsteen suffer some like mental illness or what was going on,
Yeah,
dude. Yeah, so he definitely had father problems. He fell, it seems, into a very deep depression,
yeah,
very deep, to the point where again, like when he brought these songs to the E Street Band,
hmm
they had Born in the USA vibe, and he
oh
was like,
yeah,
I don't like that, and he
yeah,
said, this is not what, and he got a little very like inward. And so he suffered this. He cooped himself up in his house,
yeah,
um, and started also reading a lot.
yeah.
Something that, and another thing to keep in mind is that he didn't like school.
Right,
He
right, right.
hated school.
Yeah,
His father used to go to college. He'd be like, "F you, dad. I'm not going to college. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
being you." Dad would say, "Well, you're gonna have to work in a factory." He's like, "F you, dad. I'm not working no factory."
yeah,
All right, son. Then I'm gonna put you in the army, and the army's gonna set you straight.
yeah,
And he's like, no, F that. Like, I'm
yeah,
not doing any of that. I'm not following your footsteps. And I think he became, something haunted him.
yeah.
And it's obvious also from the album cover. Like, what, but he fell
Oh
into
yeah,
this depression. And I love how you said crisis, midlife crisis.
yeah. He was going through a midlife crisis. The label hated the idea of a lo-fi acoustic album, career suicide. You know, just like somebody else named Bob Dylan. Who's doing that.
Yeah.
Um, So after the tour, he decided to take a break and, like you said, do some research on American history. He watched a lot of films, he read a lot of books, listened to, like, going back to the early stuff, Woody Guthrie, Dylan, Hank Williams Jr. Um, uh, he read Ron Novak's Born on the 4th of July, that inspired him. Howard Zinn's A People's History of the USA.
Hmm.
He watched movies by John Ford. He read Steinbeck, The Great Grapes of Wrath. This was a big influence on the movie Badlands. Terrence Malick produced it.
Terrence Malick was
Yeah,
really good.
and that's about Starkweather. And he got into true crime novels by James McCain and Jim Thomas, and of course Flannery O'Connor had a huge, huge influence on him.
Right. And that's so interesting because again, like this is the what he was it all the stars aligned. Like
Yeah,
it's sad because he was in a depression and he definitely like felt I think he definitely felt a little, he probably needed help or
yeah.
something. But luckily because he had music, I think that was therapy.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
And Flannery O'Connor's like novels are also dark and twisted and we'll talk more about the individual songs, especially like
Oh yeah,
his 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 focus on, people that you wouldn't think would should be focused on.
yeah, yeah. The dark people. Like Starkweather, singing about his dad, the depression and stuff. Like that's not happy topics, really.
No.
You know. Um, so when he went in with the E Street Band, he was annoyed with the demos. This is so similar to Dylan in the Basement Tapes. It's almost I'm reading the same.
He's recording a blonde on blonde. Yeah. He was
Yeah,
disappointed.
you know. Well, no, I think when he did when Dylan, not to get off the topic, but when Dylan did John Wesley Harding, he also recorded the Basement Tapes.
But no, but he was those were the
No,
songs in that period.
oh no,
So
you're right. Wait, was
So
it?
a lot of them should have been blonde on blonde
Yeah,
tracks, but
yeah,
he rejected a lot. Like he
yeah,
he
yeah.
didn't like the sound. He just started. He was a period where he just started jamming and seeing, how he was gonna gel with the band, and he wasn't liking it.
Right, right.
Maybe
Um,
too Americana sounding, maybe or
yeah. Uh, so the E Street Band, he just told them, I'm just gonna go acoustic and record, and we'll regroup after this album. So he got his acoustic guitar, went in a room with a Tech 144 Port Studio recorder. I had a friend who had something similar like this in 1986. It's just it was a 4-track recorder, and he could overdub. And then the guy who helped record and produce is Mike Balton or Baltain.
yeah,
He helped him record the album using harmonica, uh, percussion, mandolin, glockenspiel, and then he mixed it onto a Panasonic boombox. Isn't that nuts? A boombox. For those of you who don't know what a boombox is, it's what everyone listened to in the 80s. It's this big giant radio, and you put your cassettes in. Was it Radio Rakim from that Spike Lee movie? You walk
yeah,
boombox. Like it was something like that. And what we used to do, if you were lucky and you had two cassette players, you could make a copy. You could bootleg a copy of like the new Iron Maiden tape, and your friend could not buy it, and you'd have a copy. Or you could make mixtapes. We used to make different mixtapes that way.
hmm
Um, so it was a very lo-fi raw sound, and it created magic.
yeah,
Some record people loved it. His manager John Landau loved it. The minimalistic approach. Um, and
yeah. It's stark lo-fi sound,
yeah,
very minimalistic. Like it. I think for if when you put it on, it's literally just guitar, some harmonica for the most part,
Yeah,
and Springsteen is singing in this, with a few exceptions, but he's not singing like the normal Springsteen. Like
almost like Dylan, the way Dylan changes.
in a way, yeah, he
You know.
sort of like embodied the Dylan style.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think this was to get him out of the midlife crisis and depression, and he he feared his father. He didn't want to fall into that lifestyle, like because depression is it runs in your family, and it doesn't matter if you're famous or not. It could have caught him at that age, and if he didn't
Mm.
catch it, he would have been not Bruce Springsteen anymore.
Well, he suffered some childhood trauma. Well, just reading
Oh,
his book,
oh
there was,
yeah, yeah.
dude, there was a lot of baggage he was carrying.
Well, doing a lot of research on his dad, especially, and not to jump ahead on the song Factory. Uh,
Off Darkness on the Edge of Town.
yeah, that is a depressing song because it's his dad hating his life,
Yeah.
and like so the guy was,
And an iconic line from that song, Factory takes his hearing. Like it
yeah,
takes everything from him.
he
And then
couldn't
it
hear.
just, the chorus is like the working, just the working life.
He was losing his hearing. He had to get up early, uh, grab his lunch, go to the factory. He was miserable, unhappy. Come home, he's unhappy. Probably takes it out on the family, on the kids. So the guy was already depressed, and he has to go to this crappy job that he hates to just to support his family. You know, so he did not want to wind up like that.
Mhm.
Okay. So we'll start to get into the album.
Let's drop the needle.
We'll drop the needle
Drop
on
the
the
needle or press play on Apple Music.
yeah, yeah. Or,
Um,
or put the cassette in.
oh yeah, right. Track listing. We'll begin with the first track.
Yep.
Begins with a haunting harmonica sound,
Yep.
some guitar picking, and we have the first song, which is my favorite. I think is your favorite too.
Oh yeah.
Nebraska.
Oh yeah, Nebraska. Um, it's a story about Charles Starkweather, who I researched like crazy today. And I'm just gonna give a quick, thing about him, but he's a lot sicker than this. He murdered 10 people with his girlfriend Carly Ann Fugate in 1958.
Yeah, I think it's
Is it Fugate?
Car. So her name is either
Car-
Carol or Cyril, but Carol Ann Fugate.
yeah. Is it Carol?
I don't know, Caril, which is either Cyril or Carol.
I don't know. God.
But she was a 14-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah. Oh, and oh God, I don't even want the stuff that they end up going against each other in court, and it's not that they really loved each other, and they loved each other, but they also used each other. He ended up killing her parents.
Man, we got, and this is
Yeah.
a also for our viewers out there, get ready because I think we're gonna do
He
Starkweather and go in more
he
detail about
he
him.
killed her parents and lied to her, and he hid him in like a farm, like a chicken coop, and he said, "I don't know what happened to your parents. I came to the house; they're not here." Then they went on the run, and then the cops found out that he did it in
And it's crazy because this was in
the late 50s.
50s. I mean, this was before. I mean, there was already some cases of serial killers, but
Yeah, no,
that,
dude, this guy, I put him up there with the Son of Sam and Ramirez. Real
yeah.
sick son of a bitch. I mean,
Now, do you think, and just we'll dive into the lyrics pretty soon, but did he deserve the electric chair?
yes, definitely. He killed innocent people for well, he had his reasons, but if you go back to Freud and you go to the id, ego, and superego, his was all completely fucked up. Like he had his reasons for killing them in his mind, because on his deathbed, he basically before they said, why did you kill it? He goes, because I hate my life and I hate the world and everybody in it.
No, he didn't say that.
Huh?
He didn't say that.
He said that.
Oh, he said
He
that.
said that. Yeah, from the
I
research I found.
I have here that Starkweather gave no last words, but there was a letter from prison to his parents,
It's a letter. It's a letter. It's in the letter. That's
and,
what it is. You're
and he said, "But Dad, I'm not real sorry for what I did because for the first time, me and Carol have more fun. Like we've had more fun."
Yeah, I got a copy of some parts of the letter, or somebody analyzed it, and it was his reasons were he hated the world and he hated his life, and he was 18, and he again came from a really messed up family, a crazy family,
Mm.
where he was abused,
A-
and at the end of the day, he scared his own family before he started killing, and they didn't even want him in the house.
Right. And this is happening in this place called Bennett, Nebraska,
Yeah,
which then Springsteen decides to, and it's crazy because this is the first song,
yeah,
and the title of the album is Nebraska.
yeah,
And you could argue, like, I've always thought that the album cover could be, I know it's the picture of those creepy or weird Nebraska roads where
yeah.
they're so desolate, but I think that's Starkweather.
Driving in a car.
I always
Oh
offer
yeah,
that
you know
theory.
why? He stole a lot of cars.
And there's a song in the album, "Stolen Cars."
Right. See
So
that that
that's the narrative thread, and so and it's interesting. I guess we'll in part two we'll kind of delve into a little bit of philosophy as to like you know why did he do this?
there
Like
was
why?
one case where he killed a geologist for no reason. He just shot him in the head and he stole this car, but he didn't know how to work. I guess they just put in an emergency brake in these new cars in the 50s, and he didn't know how it kept stalling and it wouldn't go. And I think that's how he got caught in the end. But we're gonna do a whole show on Starkweather, and I got to do more research on him. But he's up there with the crazies.
Hmm.
Um, so he also killed in Wyoming, where the laws were a little different. Then he got caught and he got the death sentence. And like I said, he blamed his actions on like a meaningless life, and he hated the world. And he and Bruce wrote this after watching the movie Badlands with Martin Sheen and Sissy Spacek about the couple. And it's I got to see that movie. I think I saw it when I was a kid. You know,
Mm.
so it's very interesting. Like, serious.
No, what's crazy is how Springsteen in this song, for some reason, I have in my notes that he connected. So obviously being influenced by the Starkweather murders
Mm-hmm.
in Nebraska, he connected this with his own childhood and feelings of being trapped. So
Wow.
Springsteen saw, and again, it's not that he's glorifying them, not
Well,
even.
I think Starkweather felt that way growing up,
Well,
and
and it's funny, but you see, it's not in the song. Like you wouldn't know. But see,
right,
psychologically, you're
yeah,
right. I didn't know what you just said that he felt stuck. Springsteen felt the same way.
yeah,
Felt, could
and,
they be two sides of the same coin?
yeah,
I
and
mean,
Starkweather, I did not get along with his father. I believe there was. I have to do my more research, but there was abuse in the family, and I think they end up getting divorced. And Starkweather, by the time he was 17, was already a psychopath and a burglar,
mhm.
and they didn't want him to come back in the house, and it's pissed him off more. And he basically went and just took the girl from her family, you know, and he fucking
Yeah.
killed her family. Like, that's sick. And he lied to her. There's a lot of lies
Yeah.
between the.
We'll jump into
Yeah,
Starkweather and like the
yeah,
future, but we should just focus on the song right now.
yeah.
So, and do you want to jump in? Where are you heading next?
Well, I'll talk about the music, but the music is really hard to break down.
You're gonna say it's gonna be a common thing that you're gonna keep saying for every song.
What I recommend, no, well, no, no, there's some different things there. what I recommend to people is they listen to the to each song to really get it. You know, download the album. This song has a great harmonica opener, acoustic guitar under it, very soft. You could barely hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, which I like. Um, do you hear the feedback, which is definitely like a mistake coming through the mic? It has a Jim Croce type picking, very soft, great story. I think there's glockenspiel bells very low in the back,
Mm, hmm.
harmonica solo in between the verse, and it ends with the harmonica solo. Gee, I wonder where he got that from.
That's, it's crazy because we also another hot take. He's a better harmonica player than Dylan.
Oh,
Which
I don't
I'm just
want to
gonna
say
throw it
that.
out there. Like Dylan learned so Springsteen. You know how Dylan being the Godfather he is. You know he started the he popularized that sort of like folkiness, right?
Yeah,
And Springsteen comes and he even like through a funnel he makes it even more sharper. And this time
yeah.
talking about like similar to Dylan's Desolation Row, which by the way this song would fit perfectly in
Oh,
Desolation
oh,
Row.
definitely,
If
definitely.
you know he began and Springsteen's songwriting is on point. I saw her standing on her front lawn just twirling her baton. Me and
Yeah.
her went for a ride, sir, and 10 innocent people died. And by the way, this is how the song begins. From the town of Lincoln, Nebraska, with a sawed-off 410 on my lap, which is frightening, through to the Badlands of Wyoming, I killed everything in my path. Like
Yeah.
putting you in like, all right, this is where we're heading.
And not, I mean, not, you know, now Starkweather's on the mind, but not only did he use guns, he used knives too.
I
So
know,
he,
and Springsteen doesn't go in detail. Like
no,
it's
no,
we're
no.
we're gonna
I did a deep dive today on him, and I was like, I just thought he was like crazy guy, just shot up some people with his girlfriend. You know, no, this guy was a sick fuck. Um, at 18, you know, that's Dahmer type of stuff.
yeah, yeah.
You know? So the next one up, I believe, is Atlantic City.
But anything else in Nebraska? Like what?
Um, no, I mean musically, like I said, you know what I'm gonna say, but you really got to listen to the music to appreciate the music. You know, like if you listen to the lyrics, because lyrics are the most important thing, but separate the lyrics for a bit and listen to the music. They're all different. They're not the same.
Yeah,
Not it's not like he's strumming the same chords.
right. I just want to focus on before we move on because this song, I always say this is probably one of his greatest songs. The live version
Mhm.
is even better, in my opinion. Anything live off this album is better.
And the
Um,
band,
yeah, and when you hear like on he released the live album, the iconic live album,
yeah,
where you hear, especially Nebraska, it's so good. Like, you know, and they sound so cinematic. And also, I want to focus on just really quick on like lyric, one of the key lyrics here. So, I talked about the opening line, right? So, kind of like it puts you already what kind of album this is going to be. Very different from, let's say, like Born to Run,
oh yeah,
Thunder Road, because
yeah,
over there it's romantic, right? We're
yeah,
escaping. This one,
yeah,
no, he's this is a psychopath.
yeah,
And an interesting line is where they say they declared me unfit to live, which is like, no, duh. They
yeah,
said, into that great void, my soul to be hurled. They want to know why I did what I did, and something that we explore in our true crime episodes. Why do these people do what they did or
yeah,
do what they do? And then being influenced by Flannery O'Connor, Springsteen says here that, well, sir, I guess there's just a meanness in this world. There's no answer. So again, this album could be very like depressing and sad, where we're dealing with a person that just loves to
This,
do killing
this
sprees.
album is very depressing. There's only one song on it, or there's two songs on it that are like kind of happy.
Reason to Believe.
Yeah,
And
and
I would say, and I would argue it's not a happy song.
in the mansions.
That is also not. That's a depressing song.
I mean, when we'll get there.
Yeah,
We could debate
yeah,
on the opinion of like what I got, like what I felt from it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But you're probably right.
No, and no, and just one last thing. And melody wise, it's so good. It's like I saw her standing on her front lawn. Like the
Yeah.
delivery is so good. Like this is probably like his one of his masterpieces.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's fantastic. But all right, let's move on next to a probably one of the best known songs in the album, Atlantic City,
Yes.
which could be a dark sequel to Meeting Across the River.
And I think it's inspired by Dylan's Joey on Desire. It's totally inspired by that. Um, because Joey's about the mobster who gets shot up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let me see. Atlantic City was controlled by the mafia. A young man struggles to make an honest living.
Mm-hmm.
He's forced to relocate to Atlantic City with his girlfriend, soon to be wife, and he joins up with the mob. Now, he mentions some famous mob people in the song, the Chicken Man from Philadelphia, and a guy named Philip Testa, who was murdered in 1981.
Yep.
And he might have been the model for Tony Soprano. I could be wrong on that. I'm not a mob historian. Um, I don't have much on it, but just basically a guy who gets involved in the mafia. His girlfriend doesn't want him to, but he feels like he doesn't have anything else going for him. Dense atmosphere, a sense of urgency, and like I said, it's like his desire to be a mobster, which was a thing back then. A lot of guys, after they seen The Godfather, were like, "Oh, I want to do this. I want to be, in a mob." And it's definitely influenced by Bob Dylan's Joey. I don't know how you feel about that analyzation.
I mean, I definitely could be some influence of Joey for sure, because Dylan also decided to focus but the only difference, definitely some influence, obviously, but the only difference is that in this song, um, it's very similar to Meeting Across the River, where this dude is, he has no other, the American dream has failed him.
Yeah,
He turns to the dark, seedy, organized crime world,
right.
and you're seeing a man go into this world, and most likely he will not come out alive.
No, you never
So,
do.
and it's
But
crazy because how does the song begin? It's kind of funny because if let's say somebody did not know the history behind it,
yeah,
they blew up the Chicken Man last night in
yeah,
Philly. But if you know the history, it's dark. It's literally someone that was murdered, a mob murder,
yeah,
and again, he said now there's trouble busting in out from the state, and the DA can get no relief. He knows the danger of this person,
yeah,
and the chorus is again it sounds resilient, but it's more like his girlfriend or wife is like honey, we can't join that world, right? Like, and
but
then
but the money's coming in. Those guys
well,
make.
that's the thing, because that's what the chorus would say. Well, just I want to do a couple verses. Well, I got a job and try to put my money away, but I got debts that no honest man can pay. See, I drew what I had from the Central Trust, right, the bank,
Yeah,
and I bought us 2 tickets on that Coast City bus. So he has no money left. This is in or out.
yeah, yeah,
This is the last stand. And then the chorus, well, baby, everything dies. That's a fact. He knows they're not
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
be living too long, but maybe everything that dies someday comes back. Put your makeup on, fix your hair real pretty, and meet me tonight in Atlantic City. So who knows if the girl joined him? Anyways,
yeah.
too.
You don't know if she goes with him. She
Yeah.
probably does because, like, she can't resist the money. But most of those mob wives, they like if you watch Goodfellas and stuff. Remember the scene when they did the Latanza heist,
Yeah.
and they told everybody don't spend your money. And here comes one of the guys, I forget his name, into the club and the white
Yeah, and they
jacket
bought
on.
like he bought like a new whatever it was, like
And
a
De
new.
Niro's like, get over here. Take the jacket off. We're gonna get busted. They're gonna know it's
Right,
us.
right. Yeah,
So I think,
the money's good.
yeah. So I
And
think as a woman, like she probably tried it out, in my opinion, and was like, oh, I'm seeing the money. Maybe I'll stick it out.
yeah,
I don't know. It's just my,
yeah.
you
But
know,
I will say this song is better than Joey, in my opinion, because Joey's a little too long.
yeah,
Springsteen he's good. He provides an explanation. Why would someone turn to organized crime, right?
Yeah.
And again, look what he says here. Now I've been looking for a job, but it's hard to find. Down here, it's just winners and losers, and don't get caught on the wrong side of that line. Well, I'm tired of coming on the losing end. So, honey, last night I met this guy, and I'm gonna do a little favor for him. All right.
Yeah.
So, and
He's
again,
gonna.
going back to the chorus. Well, I guess everything that dies, baby, that's a fact. Meet me tonight in Atlantic City. Like
Yeah.
this is a journey into the crime world, and the song also. I also just want to share the band's cover of it. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
90s cover. It more
Yeah.
it brings out more of the Americana folkiness.
Exactly. So fast tempo, nice guitar strums. Now that's different. So musically, it's different. It's not the same. Each song has a
Yeah,
different.
yeah. Especially this one though. Musically it's interesting. It's more fast tempo.
But
And
yeah,
it has a weird, I think it's a mandolin or something like ding 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 ding
yeah.
ding
There
ding
is
ding ding.
I yeah. There's mandolin in there. Yep,
Which you can
mandolin.
hear in the
Mhm.
band's version when Levon Helm plays the little either I forgot what I think it's a mandolin or ukulele. One of
This is a mandolin. It's overdubbed. You hear it in the background. So you
yeah.
use that 4 track. Um, it's a fast tempo, nice guitar strums and chords, great vocals, overdubbed vocals in the back because you hear background vocals. Great harmonica solo, mandolin overdub, and a slow ending, and it fades out. So a lot of it has Dylan influence on it as far as
It's
recordings.
definitely Dylan
Early
influence.
Dylan.
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm. Okay, so the next one, where now this is where I think we have different opinions on it. Mansion on the Hill. Now, to me, what I got from it was okay. Maybe there. I'm looking at it now, thinking like maybe it could be like a mansion on the hill. Gee, Dad, why don't I live in a mansion on the hill? But it looks like memories of driving, looking at large mansions on the hilltop, going for car rides with his father. Now, going for car rides with his father, looking at the mansions,
Hmm.
seems to me that I don't think that's real negative. He's with his dad. He's going for a ride. It's a nice summer day, and there happen to be mansions driving by. Now I've done it. We've all driven through Greenwich and seen the freaking mansions, and it could be a happy thing or it could be a sad thing. You might be like, those fuckers, I wish I lived in one. You know what I mean? Like, or it could just be like, oh wow, that's cool architecture. That's a cool house. It depends on how you look at it.
Hmm.
So what's your take on my theory?
So yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, it's not a negative song to a father or anybody. But I always saw first of all, like and musically, it's gonna follow that same, uh, you can do a quick thing about the music, but it's it's one of my favorite songs because I love the delivery of it, because I always saw the song. First of all, it's about childhood dreams. He's as a child and looking at this magical mansion on the hill with his
Yeah,
dad, and we all remember we used to drive around, look at the
yeah,
houses,
yeah,
and
yeah,
um, and then there's also some mysteries of adulthood. And it's crazy because you can hear the longing in the like Springsteen's looking at that mansion on the hill. And actually what's really interesting was Springsteen in his biography, I read that his grandparents' house on his mom's side, their
hmm
house he always viewed as a mansion of, riches and childhood, like, comfort,
right, right,
um, and happiness. So in essence, this song sort of like it embodies that, childhood, like, idealism.
yeah.
And also that mansion on the hill, like symbolically, what could that represent? Does he want to escape to this mansion? Throughout the song, he keeps coming back to it's such a poetic song
I
because
mean, I don't think he was a guy that thought he was going to be as successful as he was.
yeah,
You know what I mean? He didn't like go out to L.A. and want to be Motley Crue. You know what I mean? Like everybody did in the 80s.
no, much different.
He wanted to be a rock star, and he just was like, I'm gonna write some songs. I'm gonna meet a band, play some bars, and then yeah, I'm gonna be a freaking genius. You know what I mean? That's the difference between him and some guy who's playing an open mic tonight. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, yeah. And also, there's a great also the have versus have nots, because
yeah,
Springsteen also grew up poor.
yeah,
Wasn't and there's some interesting imagery in the song where you can kind of get the and I remember this because I particularly wasn't rich, and I used to look at the mansions and like especially on Christmas, seeing all the lights come up.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'd be like, oh, like I wish we had a house like that, or like, you know.
yeah,
So Springsteen captured that like longingness. So it's actually kind of like a sad song, and he never makes it to that. He never owns a mansion on hell. Now, obviously, in real life, he'll own the buy mansion, right?
yeah.
But it's like a great child perspective,
But you
and
could look at it like he's with his dad. They're driving. Maybe he has ice cream. Maybe they're looking out the window. It's a nice day, and the mansions are
mhm.
just going by, and that's how he remembers those days. You know what I mean? Could it be a happy memory too?
Could be. The only thing with this song is that it's like it starts out with him sort of like look what he says here. There's a place out on the edge of town, and then that's sort of like another continuation of darkness on the edge of town. But
Mm-hmm.
he says there's that place on the edge of town, sir. Right? He's talking to somebody, rising above the factories and the fields. Now, ever since I was a child, he's like remembering. I can remember that mansion on the hill, and the way he sings is like I love the way he sings. Like
Yeah,
you know and again he's like recalling and uh in the way it could be happy for sure like it's like oh I remember that time with my dad the way he sings like, he's like at night my daddy take me and we ride like I love the way he sings it that mansion on the hill like it's like longing. It's
yeah,
so yeah, it could be a little happy, but I see the song as sort of like a little like it's sort of like a song like when you watch. Oh, actually, it's similar to Ozzy Osbourne passing away. It just unlocks some of your childhood,
yeah. Oh, exactly.
and it's like it's a mix of happiness but also sadness,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah,
the song captures.
yeah, yeah. So I think it's a double edge. You know what I mean? It's like a
Yeah.
double edge. Leaning more towards sadness of like, I wish I lived in a mansion because my dad, you know, works the factories. There's going to be that theme with his dad through this whole song.
Oh yeah, I mean, he even says it here, rising above the factories and fields. And actually, you know what's funny? It says here, in the day you can see the children playing on the road that leads to those gates of hardened steel. So again, that's why I say like, they never have act like Springsteen sees the mansion, right?
Yeah,
But from his point of view, he never has access to it. And even at the end, tonight, down here in Linden Town, I watched the cars rushing by, far from the mill. Again, a factory image.
yeah,
There's a beautiful full moon rising above the mansion on the hill. So it's nighttime, it's
yeah,
not daytime, and seeing the full moon and seeing that mansion, I think it's haunting. So like a Halloween vibe.
yeah, yeah. I think so too. Yeah,
So yeah, who knows? Very great song. One of the underrated ones, in my
yeah.
opinion.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely.
Anything musically, Cheech?
Yeah. And they're all different. Like harmonica opens the song. The guitar is soft under it with great picking. The guy's a great picker.
Yeah, yeah.
Great story. Subtle mandolin, subtle mandolin in the back. Has a great chorus, and it ends with harmonica. You know, not surprised. Very from his hero. I mean, there's a lot of Dylan uh, arrangements that he took
Hmm.
musically. Like I think story wise, I hate to say it, but like, he paints a better picture, I think, sometimes than Dylan. There's no like it's easy to see.
Yeah.
There's
No,
no,
he does a much better job. No, Dylan is legendary, but
yeah,
he
yeah.
learned from Dylan and sharpens his poetics.
Yeah. It's not like absurdity. Like there's a mansion on a hill, then I see a frog smile at me and offers me.
Yeah. And the frog is jumping out the window, and I'm here with my guitar.
Yeah, yeah, and then
Oh,
comes
I got the sun blues again.
and then the Queen of Sheba walks
Yeah.
by.
No, but it's great. But again, Dylan was learning. He was doing something that nobody was doing,
Yeah,
in popular music and what he was doing.
at least
Springsteen learns from that and sharpens it.
at
Like,
least with Bruce, like you could see, you could pick out the lyrics, and you can be like, yeah,
yeah.
that's like
No, and he captures more of humanity. Like Dylan is too absurd.
yeah,
Springsteen captures more of that, and you and I are kind of like working class individuals
yeah,
where we see that mansion on the hill and we're like, yeah, I remember that when I used to go out drives with my parents and
yeah, yeah,
yeah, we might have the worst parents, not us, but like
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
people, but our drives watching those rich people houses where it's like, it's interesting, like
yeah.
to
It,
me.
it could be like I said, it could be envy. Like
Yeah.
why is it my dad in that mansion? Why am I not in that mansion? Like a little rich kid, or just a nice summer memory of with his dad, or a Christmas memory with his dad looking at the lights, or did he have any happy memories with his dad? Could this be one?
So far in the book that I'm reading, I'll let you know.
None.
No, and he calls him the devil, the person that he made. He realized that there were devils. That's how the way he
Okay,
described it.
I don't want to wait. Hold on, hold on. Um,
But if anything, we'll
is
wrap.
my father's house a true story? I don't. I know we're
I
gonna.
think we should wait.
I
I
know
think we should wait because we'll talk about my
because,
father's
dude,
house.
that I was.
That's so much of cats in the cradle,
That's what I put down.
or father and son,
I
which
put, you nailed it. I put down Fathers and Son by Cat Stevens, and then Cats in the Cradle. And
yeah, because we don't want to. And actually, just as an aside, quick, there is a one of my favorite bands that's in Spanish rock called um their name is Café Tacuba. They have a song called Mi Padre, and similar song where
yeah,
the protagonist is like, I'm never gonna be my father. And then
yeah.
one day looks in the mirror, it's like he sees his father. It's like,
Oh yeah. We all do. I go through it myself.
should we fight it, not fight it? With Springsteen, I was like, yeah, I'm not being my dad. Wait a minute.
No, like
What?
my dad was my hero. So like for me, it's
So
different.
you didn't fight it. You embraced it,
Oh, I embrace it.
but a lot of these individuals, I love my dad, so I embraced it. But for psychologically, Springsteen didn't want to be his dad,
If you called
and
dad the devil, that's
yeah, yeah.
oh my god. Like so, I can't wait to get to my father's house. Because I was really analyzing that, going, is this about Bruce and his dad? Because if it is, it's really fucked up, man.
I, we'll cross
Yeah,
that bridge when we
I
get to
know,
the father's house. We'll see.
but
But I guess this will conclude part one of
yeah,
Nebraska. This is has been
we'll,
so fun, Cheech. Amazing.
we'll end off on Johnny 99, which is another good one. So we
And
did the
that song
first,
is great. Chuck Berry.
yeah, great song.
Probably one of the maybe the rocking song in the album, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but lyrically,
No,
like no, it's dark.
it's dark, definitely.
Hey, this is
Cool.
not Johnny Be Good. Be that
No,
Louisiana down in New
not at all.
Go, 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 Johnny, go. No, this is more like
And what did I send you? He covered another Bruce Springsteen song on "Darkness on the Edge of Night." John, what you call it?
oh, the Promised Land. Which you
Yeah,
got,
yeah,
yeah, which he was influenced by the Promised Land. I
yeah.
could see that. I could see
But
that.
it's a different song altogether. It's like Zeppelin. It's like a Zeppelin kind of thing. It's not the same song, but he took ideas from it. You know.
100%.
But
But
yeah,
we'll lift up the needle. We'll pause on this very dark, depressing album,
yep.
which we love,
Oh
and
yeah, and I
we're
recommend.
definitely we're gonna sharpen our Freudian skills here.
Yeah, yeah, to our listeners, don't overlook it.
No,
It's a
no.
great album if you like the folky Dylan kind of thing, and you like Jim Croce storytellers, Cat
Mm.
Stevens storytellers.
Now, Chicha, and just for our audience, would you think it's better than Dylan?
Um,
This album, acoustically, the Nebraska.
Comparing it to like which Dylan album, you know what I mean? It's
Let's see, Blowing in the Wind.
hard. I think it's more digestible. You know what I mean? It's easier to understand.
Right, right.
Like Dylan is hard to dissect and figure him out. Not that everyone, when you listen to Dylan, you're not dissecting it, you're
And,
enjoying it. But
and the voice.
oh, Bruce Springsteen, his voice is incredible. The guy had everything. You know, he has got the look, he's
Yeah.
got the chops on the guitar, his strumming skills. There's nobody that strums like Bruce Springsteen.
Hmm.
You know, he has a unique strumming style. I don't know if he got lessons. If that's in the book, let me know if
I'll
he
let you know. If I remember correctly, and I'll let you know for sure. No, he learned on his own,
and his voice.
self-taught.
You cannot. There's nobody in the world that sounds like him.
Hmm.
No, nobody sounds like Bruce Springsteen. You know, that's what makes him unique. And also, I found a parallel with this. I was watching a documentary on Billy Joel. Billy Joel went through a huge depression that I didn't even know about
Oh man, yeah,
for a girl that he ended up marrying, but you know, it got bad for Billy Joel. So there's a
yeah.
between these two guys, and they were rivals on the same. Were they on the same label?
That's good. I think so. Columbia Records.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think, and
you're
I
right. They were rivals.
and they were like, who are we going to put more money into? These both songwriting geniuses, vocalists, amazing, and they both had killer bands.
I was gonna say, both are actually very similar.
They're
Yeah.
so similar. I mean, they sound completely different, but they're so similar. You know, so we should definitely do a Billy Joel in the future.
Oh,
But
oh, we should. Especially
I,
there's an HBO documentary coming out on him.
I was watching it. He went to a mental hospital. The guy really suffered from depression over a girl, and it got him, really messed up. And then he realized, he figured it out and he became who he became. But they're so similar between
It,
the band.
good thing you brought that up. Yeah, they both went to some major, obviously for different reasons, but it
Yeah,
inspired what's to follow.
yeah, yeah. So there's a parallel between them. The great bands that are similar, great songwriters, great singers, and they both became icons in the '70s too. Like at the same time, The Stranger was
Oh,
'78.
I
What is
will.
that?
That album is a must.
And
Like,
this is all when Springsteen was on the rise too.
yep, yep.
Captain Jack. Oh my God. So these songs are just Billy. Billy Joel might have had some more rockers than Bruce Springsteen. Like,
Oh no, I disagree. The Springsteen had the more rockers.
I mean,
Billy Joel's interesting, and he's another person that was influenced by Dylan. But this time, instead of like the guitar, Springsteen, piano.
yeah, yeah.
Piano man begins with a harmonica solo,
It's probably, in my
played
opinion,
by him.
it's
Played by
probably one of the best harmonica solos I think ever. What I mean, he had rockers like Big Shot. He had some heavy. Big Shot's kind of a heavy song. You know what I mean? But by Billy Joel, like he had a rocking side to him. Where he would,
which is my favorite. Which he sometimes he did half and half. He's fantastic, but I
yeah,
love when he embraces rocking side.
Billy
Like
Joel.
yeah, like moving. And no, I think Springsteen's definitely rocker.
Yeah,
Um, Joel is a mix of Dylan, but instead of like Springsteen, he's more a balladeer, where
yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah,
so good at
yeah.
what he does. But when he rocks, he rocks. Like moving out Anthony's song, down, down,
Yeah.
down, down, down. Like even that great
There
guitar.
was the other one.
Big shot, down, 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 down,
I mean,
down, down, down. Like
those are a heavy riff. And
very heavy.
there's that other one. Oh God, da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. I might be crazy, but it's
Oh,
moon.
down, 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 down.
Like
I
that's
might be crazy.
yeah,
No, that's another great one.
yeah. So like you get, he had some good ones, and then Brenda and Eddie's an epic. epic.
Oh, I would say we will not. Maybe we'll do a Billy Joel episode, and
Spring-
for the HBO documentary.
Yeah,
Billy and Eddie, Billy and Eddie, scenes from an Italian restaurant. Oh, and that's what I'm saying. Like that song, scenes from an Italian restaurant, you would probably identify with. He begins with, he's such a great piano player. Springsteen is a great guitar player and
yeah,
band leader. Joel, similar to like Dylan, in terms of like Dylan's a master of the folk genre.
yeah,
He's a master of the piano.
yeah.
And he begins that song like dun, 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 dun,
Oh, it's
dun,
beautiful.
dun, 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 dun. And then Billy and Eddie, and he crafts like
Yeah,
sort of like his Born to Run song
yeah.
with
It
the
almost. I mean, they're very they're theatrical.
yeah
They're both and then you listen to Piano Man. It's a very depressing song.
yeah
You know.
very similar to what you'll find maybe in the Springsteen album.
Yeah, yeah. So they're so much alike, man. It's crazy. It's crazy the parallels between Billy.
That's a great point, Cheech. I never you're right because they both went to depressions. Both are very
Yeah,
similar lyrically, and both also were struggling before they had their moving pictures.
exactly. And they both had like
Yeah, and great backing bands.
yeah, like the band is you got to give the band a third of the credit. Like I mean
Yeah.
they could have been like Bruce Springsteen and that I mean not Bruce Springsteen, not Bob Dylan, and I think that's why Bob Dylan maybe didn't have a lot of success after Blonde on Blonde or after John Wesley Harding. I mean,
Yeah.
albums because he didn't have the right band. Every album he had a different lineup. If you think about it, and I'm not knocking him because
No,
he's
and it wasn't until Desire where he finally had something,
yeah.
but I think he subverted it a little bit. But
Yeah, the problem was he was like a Richie Blackmore or like a Jeff Beck. He was never happy with the band. He just always wanted next album, new band, next album, and it doesn't work like that. You can't
no,
even
it's
God rest his soul, Ozzy, who passed away today.
oh yeah, Black Sabbath alone, and
I
then
mean,
his
no,
solo band.
the solo bands. For those of you, we did an Ozzy show. It's coming out. We didn't mention it on this show, but Ozzy Osbourne passed away today, and we just did a whole thing on Ozzy rest in peace. Ozzy Osbourne rest in peace. Even Ozzy always had a great backing band, but he didn't change it too much. Like he might have changed it every 3 albums or every 4 albums. If you start to change your band as a solo artist every album, you're not going to really be successful. I mean, well, not that Bob Dylan wasn't successful, but he never had that steady band,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
these guys did, and that has a lot to do with their sound.
I
The E
agree.
Street Band. I don't think Billy Joel's band did they have a name?
No, but they were great players.
Oh yeah, Liberty DeVito, and you think about like Liberty DeVito, what a great drummer! Oh my God,
Oh yeah, very eccentric in the videos.
yeah,
Like he
just
looks like an eccentric.
like Bruce Springsteen, Max what's his last name? Weinberg. Real yeah.
Yep. Max, wait,
Wein,
the drummer?
yeah. Yeah.
Max, what am I getting? For the East Street Band.
Yeah.
Say right now. Yeah, he's great too. Yeah, you're right. Billy Joel's drummer was
Yeah.
great, and
On bass. I mean,
we have Max Weinberg, the
yeah.
Mighty Max. He's
These
gone.
guys, they killed it. They were
Yeah.
studios, and that means that added so much to the sound. It added.
Yep.
But anyway, so we'll end up. We'll
We'll
stop
end here.
here. We're gonna.
Geez, this was amazing, man. We'll continue Nebraska. We'll
I'm
continue the
gonna do
record.
Johnny 99. That's what
Yes,
we'll pick.
sir.
We'll do that one.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, man. It's always a blast, and rest in peace, Ozzy. You know,
Yo, rest in peace, Ozzy, the Prince
um,
of Darkness.
definitely,
Uh, may yeah, Godspeed. Long live heavy metal. Long live the heavy metal legend.
exactly,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right,
All
Cheech.
right,
Till the next time. I'll
all
see you,
right.
my friend.
Take care.
You too. All right, we are back. This is the Cheech and Manny show.
Yes.
We talk about music, philosophy, true crime, anything that piques our interest. This is part two of our review of Bruce Springsteen's 1982 album, Nebraska, which is a largely acoustic effort. Um, 1982, we have covered the songs Nebraska, Atlantic City, Mansion on the Hill. So please tune in to part one, which will be released separately, and this is now part two.
No.
So now we are going to continue with Johnny 99. So
Mhm.
Cheech, I'm going to throw it to you, my friend, and we'll
Yeah.
continue.
Okay.
And so and then the narrative is the laid off auto worker or
Yeah.
mechanic turns to crime and murder.
Yeah. I mean, I'm obsessed, as you know, I've been sending you crazy shit. You probably think I'm out of my mind. Starkweather stuff.
Right, right.
This is right out of a Starkweather murder, but it's not. It's not
Right.
related, but it's similar. Johnny 99, great song. A man loses his job at the Ford uh, assembly plant in Mahwah, New Jersey. Following the closing, he takes it out on a frustrated man and a hotel clerk, and he murders him. He gets captured and gets sentenced to 99 years in prison, and he begs for the death penalty, which is so similar to Starkweather. It's taken from Jules Daniels' 99 Years Blues. Um, it's a very bleak, depressing song. So
Mm.
I think I got it. I don't know. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, straight, simple. I mean, not simple, but the song gets its title from his for poor Johnny's 99-year sentence in
Yeah.
prison. And it's yeah, no, you got it, man. And that's narratively, yeah, it's bleak. Um, it's a key line, and if you want to reflect on this, Cheech, well, Judge, I got debts that no honest man could pay. What do you think about that? Well,
Um,
Judge, I got debts that no honest man could play. And he's singing like a Chuck Berry song too, which is weird.
it's like, the poor guy. I mean, you should never murder anybody. You know what I mean? But he's so frustrated with the world that he has debts, and if anything, rob a bank. Don't kill somebody, right?
Do you think that's a justification because you're trying to and you know this is a universal theme when someone has so much debt that they turn to murder. Do you think there's any justification in that?
No, not for murder. I would rather say if I was in debt that bad, I try to, I would never do this, but I would rob a bank or rob somebody, like rob the guy, don't kill him, rob the hotel.
And what happens if they don't cooperate though? I'm not endorsing crime, but I'm saying I feel like these poor characters are.
Yeah.
If I was the judge, I mean, you could see him like begging and pleading. Judge,
Yeah.
and again, at the end of the day, I have here Cheech in my themes. Class division. I'm sorry, industrial decline, like the closing of the factories, and which I
Yeah.
think you experience in some way, right? Not yourself, but your family.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, Loss of identity too.
There
He.
was to get personal, there was a big, I guess it was a factory in Portchester,
Mm.
called the Bolt Works. And it was down by, like, remember where Pathmark used to be?
Oh yeah.
Down by there. So it was a huge place where everybody worked during, like, in the 30s. Like, no. It was like during World War II and after World War II. And I think my grandfather worked there up into the 60s. I don't know when it closed. But when it closed, it brought a lot of people out of work because Portchester was a small town, and that was where everybody worked in this factory
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
1930 to say 1960. And a lot of people lost their jobs
Right.
like that.
Right. And sad because a lot of these people, again, this is the working class. They tied their identity with that job, right? So,
Yeah.
Bruce Springsteen explores these themes, and no doubt from his dad. I mean, it's obvious. And I'm reading his autobiography right now.
Yeah.
he reflects on like, the New Jersey working class, Irish and Italian
Yeah.
Americans. And the other thing I want to say is also, Cheech, what do you think? I have here systemic failure. In other words, like, do you think Johnny 99 is a product of a failed system?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So are you kind of merciful towards his actions? Do you have an
Not
understanding?
not for murder. Not for murder. I can understand robbing for money. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Um, like if he came into the temple and he wanted to steal, go right ahead.
Right.
Not telling the priest.
Right. Right.
Look
No.
any other way.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo,
Don't
listen.
get involved with that shit. You can steal all
No, no,
you want.
no. Yeah, I ain't no priest. I'm not here to forgive sins, but it's funny also, this is so interesting, like narratively in comparison. I love how you said Johnny 99 in comparison with Starkweather is a great comparison.
Oh, it is.
But rather than being a psychopath,
Yeah.
he's motivated by economic circumstances, which again,
Yeah.
I think and that's the danger, and that's why if I can quote Pink Floyd song Money, money is the root of all
Mm.
evil.
It
I
really.
mean, one has to be really careful, but
Yeah. Money is the root of all evil, and I think this poor guy lost his job. He doesn't say if he had a family. I don't. I does he have a family in the lyrics?
I don't
I don't. I didn't see.
think so. I don't even have the lyrics in front of me. And I know that he got fired. It's funny. The song is based on the real life closure of the Ford Motor Company Mawa assembly plant.
Yeah.
So kind of similar to your story in Portchester. And actually, my father also worked for a factory because
Mhm.
Portchester, there were a lot of
Oh
factories,
yeah, it was a
which
work
is interesting.
industrial town.
Right,
From when it became Portchester, like in the late 18. It was a saw pit, like during the Revolutionary War,
right,
and then during the Industrial Revolution is when all these factories popped up.
right. And again, Chi, so moving on to the music, like, can you describe the music?
Oh yeah,
It's interesting.
but that's good. A good point about him. Like, I mean, I would forgive him if he stole money, but not
Mm.
murder. You know.
It's crazy because Springsteen doesn't give you the ethical right or wrong or his he just tells it as it is, and I love it. I think that's one of Springsteen's strengths, where he's able to and again very similar to the Nebraska song where the judge and people want to know why did you kill those people, and you can imagine the psychopath. Oh,
Don't get me started. I am literally obsessed with Starkweather and Folgate. I sent you that like I actually found. I think I found her number in Michigan because she's not on social media. Actually, she's still alive. She's 80 years,
right. Oh
and I was
wow.
tempted to call her and be like, "You want to be on a show?"
I mean, low key. I mean, that'd be pretty awesome.
But uh, it's so controversial. Did you watch the current
Yeah,
affair?
yeah. But we'll talk about it then. But let's just focus
Yeah.
on song. But
Yeah,
music.
no, I just got on a tangent with that. I'm sorry.
No,
Uh,
no, no. All good. All good. Just for time sakes.
but it is similar, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice guitar picking, very slow pace. It's a great story, very simple. Nice harmonica solo. Kind of reminds me of somebody,
Mm.
but he's much better. Bruce is a much better harmonica player.
I have to admit that. Yeah, he's probably one of the best harmonica players. You know what's weird? Like Plant, he doesn't play too much harmonica.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very strange, but he's actually pretty good and better than Dylan. I agree.
I got a quick question for you. What year did Southside Johnny come out?
Southside Johnny, the album.
Yeah, as an artist, like was he around the same time? Like exact?
Oh, you're talking about the band, the Asbury
Yeah,
Jukes. Yeah, so that band, I think they grew up around with Springsteen, I believe. That was around which album?
I don't know. You know the famous song on the Dark Side?
Yes.
Great song. Like they played it at the temple or heard it on the radio, and oh my God, does it sound like Bruce Springsteen? Like their sound, I guess it's that New Jersey sound. Like
Mm,
certain areas, Seattle had the grunge sound, LA had the fucking glam metal sound, but this
right.
like really, really close. He really took from the sax solo and everything. I'm wondering if he actually bit off of them and stole, from.
Right.
But a very sad song. It tells a great story. And just not much I really got in the music. Just
Wait, keep talking, Cheech. Keep talking.
I just feel that the picking, Bruce Springsteen, I think as a finger picker is amazing. The guy is
Mm,
fantastic, He really is a great finger picker, and a great guitar player. And I think he should be known in circles of guitar players how good
hmm
he is. And he's not. I think Guitar Player did a little thing on him one time, and I was really impressed with it, going back in the day.
hmm
But yeah, that's really, like I said, these songs are going to be pretty simple to analyze because it's not much musically. It's the same beautiful guitar, harmonica, glockenspiel kind of thing.
Yeah.
You
And what
know,
do you think about the sound? Like it's kind of like upbeat in comparison with the
this one I thought was slower. I thought, right?
it's kind of upbeat though in comparison to the lyrics.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Because the lyrics are so like sad. The
Yeah,
music kind of
like
is
like
happy.
Stark.
I'd say it's more happier. Like
Hmm
the music doesn't fit the lyrics. I think, right?
Yeah. No, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't, which is interesting.
Joe Silkman just thanked us for the kind words in the 50th anniversary. Thank you,
Oh,
Joe, for watching,
love it. Love it.
which was a great episode, by the way.
Hmm
You want to move on to State Trooper?
Yeah. Let's move on. This is
This is,
a long story one, which is interesting.
yeah. Now, this is about family loyalty, I think. And I think you
Yeah,
should always be,
100%.
on the circumstances, you should always be loyal to your family.
Hmm
Um, so it's influenced by Frankie. Oh, wait. Is this the one? No, no,
This
no.
how no, this is Highway Patrolman. Is that the one you were mentioning?
Yeah, no. I'm sorry. This is State Trooper. Yeah, Highway Patrolman is.
Oh, right, right. Which is what family? It's the family song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, okay.
But this is a bit now. This is a slow acoustic ballad.
Oh wait. Are we on Highway Patrolman?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I skipped it. Highway Patrolman. This is about being loyal to your family. It's very important to be loyal to your family, and I think we all have to be. Depending on the circumstances and stuff. But this is interesting. Story of a cop named Joe Roberts who was given a choice in turning in his own brother
hmm
for committing a crime or letting him go. Springsteen argues in the chorus, a man turns his back on his family. Well, he just ain't no good. Frankie did some time over in Vietnam and maybe he just got a little bit messed up from that horrible war, came back very different. Joe Roberts owns a farm and he's married to his wife. But rumor has it his wife always kind of liked the brother a little bit.
hmm
Um, so Joe leaves the farm to become a cop. He gets a call to go to a barroom brawl. There's a man bleeding on the floor, and people are saying it was your brother Frankie. Your brother Frankie did this. He messed this guy up. He ran out the door. So Joe Roberts chases Frankie into the woods, and then finally, when he gets him, they're in Michigan. He just lets him go, and the Frankie escapes to Canada. So I don't know how you feel about that.
No, I think you got it. Joe Roberts is a cop whose brother commits a crime, and he lets him go rather
Yeah,
than chase him.
yeah,
And you said before the emotional core of the song is family loyalty versus duty.
yeah.
Because Joe Roberts is a cop, and he's kind of like bounded by duty to apprehend his brother.
Hmm.
But and the key line is, man turns his back on his family. Well, he just ain't no good.
Yeah,
And he kind of follows that sort of like ethical stance
yeah.
throughout the song.
And
So,
that has happened to a lot of cops. This is a real thing. I've read about this.
yeah, yeah,
That kind of thing.
yeah.
Uh,
And again, I think it's also like the Brotherhood is interesting because he tells a big story. This song is interesting because it's long. It's like 5 minutes. It's
yeah.
like a narrative song, and it kind of and also I don't know if you've seen the Sean Penn film, The Indian Runner. It was
No,
inspired by. He was inspired by it.
by this song.
No, Sean. He saw Sean Penn's film, The Indian Runner.
Oh, this is what made him write this song. Okay.
Yep, yep. But and again,
Wow.
I love how he sings it. Man turns his back on his family. Well, he just ain't no good.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
that's like the chorus, kind of.
yeah, I kind of agree with that, depending on what, the person did, um,
And he follows that, right? Because it's like, man, if I chase my brother, I'm turning my back on my family. But
yeah.
then I'm trying to be good, but I'm a cop. But he, and what was the crime that he committed, Cheech, in the song?
He beat up somebody in a bar.
Right. Did he kill him? I think
No,
he killed him.
no, did he kill him?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I see that. I didn't get in the lyrics that he.
Yeah, so if you pay attention to this song, it's another weird song where there's so much gray areas.
Yeah, I didn't see any about killing, but I could be wrong. You would know better than me.
Yeah, so brother, and I love the chorus where um uh where he says, "Yeah, we're laughing and drinking. Nothing feels better than blood on blood.
Yeah,
Taking turns dancing with Maria as the band played Night of the Johnstown Flood." Like, I love that chorus.
yeah,
And yeah, so what ends up happening is there was trouble in a roadhouse out in the Michigan line. There was a kid lying on the floor looking bad, bleeding hard from his head. Was a
yeah,
girl crying at a table, and it was Frank, they said. So most likely, okay, so we're not sure, but he is bleeding really
yeah.
bad.
He's bleeding bad. That I knew. Yeah, but I didn't
Right.
see that they said he was dead. But maybe
No, no, you're right. You're right. But I think odds are, it kind of sounds like
he beat him up pretty bad, or he
yes,
fucked him up
yes.
really bad.
And what's interesting also the way he ends. So he says, "Well, I chased him through. He was chasing him through the country roads till a sign said Canadian border 5 miles from here. So obviously Frankie turned his back on the family, right?
Yeah,
So now he's no good. But that's what the I feel like the singer of the song, not that he did a bad thing, the bad crime,
yeah,
but then he repeats it. I pulled over on the side of the highway and watched his taillights disappear. Me and Frank, and then repeats the line, and then finally ends with "Man turns his back on his family. He just ain't no good." So
yeah,
very interesting song, and it's very slow. This is definitely a slow
yeah.
acoustic.
Yeah, this has
This requires patience.
yeah, of
And Cheech, I want to ask you though, would you let your brother go if you were a highway patrolman and caught him doing something bad?
course.
All right, so you're definitely in the family man
Yeah.
aspect.
I mean, if Starkweather was my brother, it's a different story. I would run. I would run.
But that's a good question. What if Starkweather was your brother? Would you let your brother go?
Well, Starkweather would probably have tried to kill me.
That's true.
So he was just like he's a bad example. Like maybe a Ramirez or like a Son of Sam. And you're the cop who chases them. When they commit crimes like that, you rather them be locked up
Mm,
than commit more crimes and kill people because you do
right,
a favor by locking them up.
right, right.
This guy, we don't know much about him. He got into a barroom fight. Maybe it was the other guy's fault. Maybe the guy was an asshole. Maybe he deserved to
Yep.
get his ass beat. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that do in my book.
Yeah.
We're,
It is interesting because I feel
we're
like
full of it.
for Springsteen, I'm reading his autobiography. It's eye-opening because he always had this like, family first. Now he claims that it was a little detrimental.
Yeah.
Not getting into too much details, but it is, yeah. I think the song is morality in the gray areas. Like,
Yeah.
it's a very interesting
If
song.
he didn't kill the guy, just like the last song, you know, if the guy just stole money, it's not a big deal because he got fired. He needed money. I feel
Right. But if you're a highway patrolman, you have to uphold the law.
it's your
So for
job.
example, like and the law, that's the let's say for example you follow like biblical law, thou shalt not steal. If you're a highway patrolman, you uphold the law, right? So
It's
so the
first.
thing is that's but but if your ethics is, family no matter what, despite what you did,
Oh yeah,
that's the gray of the song. It just doesn't give you an answer.
yeah. I mean, I've never gone to jail, but when I was a kid, I would get taken by the police with the band Seance,
Mm.
drinking in public parking and parking lots and being really drunk, and cops would come and the cops would be like, "Get in the car. You guys are gonna go downtown tonight. You're gonna spend the night in jail. What's your name?" "Oh, my name's Mike Messina." "Mike Messina? Your father's Paulie?" "Yeah." "What's your name?" Chris Cheech Carrerio." "Carrerio, your father's name Vito?" "Oh, all right. I'll just drive you guys home. I know your dad's really good." You know, and that would happen all the time to us when we were kids, or we would at least, get a what do they call it, scared straight, thrown in
Hmm.
jail, and don't drink in the park, and
Right.
breaking bottles, and we didn't have any dope on us, but we stashed that shit in the woods.
Right. Right.
They didn't have anything on us, but they knew our parents, and they let us go. So I was like, oh, those are cool cops. you know. So
That's
it's
pretty
it's my
good.
my story to highway patrolmen.
Great, man. All right, let's move on next to.
Did I do the music or no?
I you can do it again. I think you did though. But go ahead. Go ahead. I don't think you
Nice,
did.
nice guitar picking, as you said, very slow pace. Great story. Nice harmonica solo in the background. Very sad song, and it tells a great story of loyalty to your brother. And I think I believe in that. I believe in loyalty.
I'm gonna remain neutral because I'm not even gonna say my stance. But it is interesting. It's like a gray song.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it deals with the gray. Like things are not so
I
black
mean,
and white.
you got to do your job as a cop, but when it comes to family, it depends on, like, what the person did from
Right.
you know. So
Yeah. All right. Next one on side one and the last one before we have to flip over the vinyl LP is State Trooper.
yes, State Trooper, influenced by, I don't understand this, but influenced by Frankie Teardrop from the synth punk band Suicide. Did you ever hear that?
Can we say it again? Oh yes. So that band, which is like a weird
They are weird. I couldn't even really like listen to it too much.
no, they are strange. I mean, they're pretty they're sort of like punk in a way and like
Yeah,
early electronic and their album and it's weird though, but
like
Suicide
Kraftwerk's almost.
yeah, it's a little like abstract, but yeah. So I think he has they covered something. Well, I don't know if Bruce Springsteen covered it, but yeah, wait, why did you mention that?
It comes up when I do the research that he was inspired by it.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um. So basically, it's his story. Frankie Teardrop. This is basically about him. He steals a car, doesn't have a license or a registration, becomes
Hmm.
paranoid. The further he travels down a deserted highway, he gets caught. Again, there's the police throughout this whole theme, of this album.
Hmm.
He pleads with the state trooper not to stop him, as he drives through the night. And the question is, does the state trooper stop him? Does he get caught? We don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you might know. Maybe I missed something in the lyrics.
No, so the yeah, you got it, dude. So it's a interesting song because yeah, and now I remember he listened to that new wave band or punk band Suicide and was inspired and made his own version
Yeah,
of sort of like trying to copy them a little bit or emulate them.
yeah,
But yeah, no, you got it. It's this dude on the run, and I love the chorus, Mr. State Trooper, please don't stop me. Please don't stop. Because again, if he stops him, I mean, who knows if he's gonna murder the State Trooper or like out of
yeah.
desperation.
Again, this is such a dark album, man.
It's in, yeah, dude, and it's tense. It's one-sided dialogue of a man on the run, so you can like picture it.
Oh
It's
yeah.
and I love what you said. Yeah, it's hypnotic. It
Hmm.
has a weird echo. Um, and it was, you're right, influenced by Suicide. The band with the front man, his name was Alan Vega.
Yeah,
So if you listen to the album, I agree. For me, I don't like it, but it
yeah.
is fascinating how Springsteen was
It was
inspired.
punk. his ears were open to what was going on in the early '80s and
Yeah,
'70s. So
yeah,
I love that about him, and you would never know he would be listening to those things. You do
yeah,
hear influences though on Darkness on the Edge of Town.
yeah.
That music, percussive guitar intro, which I really like, and this is so cool. He stays on one chord the whole song. The whole song he's on one chord. The whole song is very rock sounding on an acoustic, but it builds up that chord into the second verse. It could rock with a band. You know what I mean? If he played this
Mm.
live, it would. I don't know. He probably did. It can kick out. It rocks by itself, and he does a really cool scream or like a whoo at the end. It's a very different song on the album so far. And I think musically it's my favorite because he rocks out that E chord, the whole song,
Hmm.
in one chord,
Yeah,
which is amazing.
yeah.
So any questions on that?
No, I think that's pretty good. And I like the key line, please don't stop me. Like it's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good. Paranoia, guilt,
yeah,
fate on the highway. Like who knows what's gonna happen?
yeah. Okay, next one. Used car. This is kind of like sad in a way.
Right. And this is my favorite song.
I mean, it's sad but happy, depending
Yeah,
on
it's very similar to Mansion on a Hill.
it is. It is.
Yeah, this is used cars, and this is so. I feel like it's an underrated song. Like I
Oh, it's a
love it.
great song. I love.
I really love it, especially the chorus.
Yeah. He describes his childhood experience with his father,
Hmm.
and they were in a social middle class family growing up. He watched his father purchase a used car for the family. They couldn't afford a new car. So the father is worn out from manual labor, tired, and struggled, but he made money for his family because that's what came first. Then he buys the new car and he shows it off around the middle class town to all the neighbors, and they're all looking at him and happy for him, and he's proud. But in meanwhile, Bruce is in the back seat of the car, vowing to never buy a used car and dreaming of hitting the lottery. Now, to me, it almost sounds a little selfish. I think, you know,
Hmm.
because unless did I get it wrong? You think about Bruce Springsteen's part.
In a way, yeah, yeah, yeah. And again, I think the narrative is a child's memory of buying a used car,
Yeah, and he should
and
thank.
there's sort of like subtle humiliation. So you keep saying like,
But
now,
to
Mister, the
me,
day the lottery I win, I ain't ever
yeah,
gonna ride no used car again. Which, and I
and to
love
me,
it.
that's selfish. You should be like, thank God, my dad could afford a car to drive me around in. To me, that's almost like a spoiled brat. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm,
you want better. Well, you can't get better because you're in a middle class family. Obviously, he went on to probably own Corvettes, but as a kid, I would just be like, oh man, just be thankful your dad is working hard. He
mm,
gets you a car, and then you're in the back dreaming about winning the lottery to get a better car. That sounds like a spoiled kid to me,
mm.
in my opinion.
Slightly kind of disagree. I think it's not that he's spoiled because I remember
Oh no, not spoiled, but like ungrateful is the word. Ungrateful.
but I think this is from like a kid point of view. And I think most kids kind of make a realization when they're poor. Like when you are older, I feel like, okay, I'm grateful for what I have and just even trying to afford a car. And
Yeah.
but this song is interesting because just to do a little line here. Now the neighbors come from near and far as we pull up in our brand new used car. I wish he just hit the gas and let out a cry and tell them they can kiss our asses goodbye. Dad, he sweats the same job from morning to morn. I walk home on the same dirty streets where I was born. Up the block, I can hear my little sister in the front seat blowing that horn. The sound echoing all down Michigan Avenue. And then he sees the line, now, Mister, the day my number comes in, like the lottery, I ain't ever gonna ride a new used car again. I think it's just like more of a reflection on like poverty and like, and
But
you're
he was,
right. There is
but
some pride. There is some pride.
it
There
was
is.
poverty. He wasn't. He. I wouldn't say he's like lived in the ghetto. You know what I mean? He had a house. He had money. You know, he had food. He had money. He went to school.
Boy, who?
Bruce Springsteen. It
Oh
was,
no, no, he grew up poor, dude.
no, no, but his father had a job.
No, but they struggled. Dad was bouncing from job to job, but the problem is, his so his he was working class, but that working class ends up sort of like ruining him. So
The father.
yes, so they were actually they weren't even middle class. They were like low poor.
Okay, okay, okay.
Kind of like the only difference is that they couldn't make some sort of affordability because of the time. Now they would be poor.
Right. But you could look at it in two ways. You could look at it as the dream, like he's dreaming of a better life, which is normal, or or being like, oh, oh, cool, Dad, you got a car for us. Thank you. You know what I mean? And he's
Mhm.
not.
But
You
I
know?
feel like as a kid though, because of that pride, like I experienced that because my dad for the longest time only drove used cars, and I'd be embarrassed sometimes of him dropping me off because I want to look cool to my, I see my parent, I see my
It's a kid thing. It's yeah. I see.
it's a childish thing. Yeah, yeah. And it's and again, so I think the poverty, this is straight up Springsteen reflecting on his life. And Springsteen actually, again, he was part of that first working class American, right?
Mhm.
But there was no middle class.
Oh,
Not
see, I thought he was like lower middle class.
um dude, there was one point in his first house there was no heat.
Oh wow. See, I didn't know.
No. And the dad obviously worked like his butt off in the
Yeah.
factories, doing whatever. And mom
Yeah.
was also working as a secretary, I think for like a lawyer. Both were working, working, working with not enough money. Um, and so, and again, just going back to the song, it's like this is the child like sort of like reflecting and saying, when I win the lottery, and everybody says that when I win the lottery, it's not even just a kid thing. I think most people are like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Oh, you hear it every day. You know.
Or like let's say for example, like they have instead of the brand new iPhone, they have a cheap knockoff, right? And then they give say, you know what? When I get money, I'm definitely gonna afford. It's like a pride thing.
See,
And
I wasn't looking at it from the kid's point of like a kid. I was looking at it from
right,
like adult. You know what I mean? Like
right, right.
kind of
And I know I view it as a kid because I kind of me and my family kind of experienced that.
right,
And
right, right.
that's why I love this song because we always drove in used cars. And then one day, some of us, man, once we have money, we're gonna buy a new car. Like we're
Right.
not dealing with, you know, um, uh, getting a used car and like dealing with it.
Right, right. I could see him like the father driving him to school, and the other kids have their parents have better cars, and maybe the kids making fun of them.
hmm
You
But
know.
it's definitely not. Now, again, there is nothing. It's interesting. We are sort of like trying to understand the meaning of the song. Springsteen just sings it, and there's also a sense that it's from a childhood point of view, right? And there's a lot of children are prideful,
Yeah.
and it's also kind of very biographical as well,
Right.
because
See,
reading his biography there was, but Springsteen does not comment on whether or not, he had an issue with used cars. Now, obviously, Springsteen, motor cars and cars are a big theme in Springsteen
yeah. Oh,
lyrics.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
this song is sort of could also serve as, Springsteen, for example, had to work his butt off to afford his first crappy guitar and he even talks about it. It was this crappy acoustic, the cheapest, but he was so happy. But then
yeah,
he realized that it didn't cut it,
yeah,
right? So he was saying that he one time was working as a lawnmower, earning 15 cents an hour
yeah,
and then working a brutal job where he had to paint and tar a roof.
yeah.
And
I've
Manny,
done that. It sucks.
no, he says it sucks. But then but going back to the song, I think this he more details are required for this song because otherwise, yeah, you're right. It sounds like, but if you have an understanding of Springsteen, you're
Yeah.
gonna understand that it's the American dream seen through a child's eyes.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah, and I
Explain it.
identify with it. That's the thing with me. I love this song because
Yeah.
I was that. Even though now growing up, no, I'm happy my dad had a car. It's grateful to have
Right.
something.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's the religion in me.
Like I didn't see the gratefulness in the song. Like, oh, at least you have a car. You know what I mean? Like your dad
No.
has a car. You know what I mean? That's what that's what I was looking for. But coming from a kid, a teenager, especially when you get material, it could be you can be embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like of
Yep.
that kind of thing.
Yep. And it's also interesting because he doesn't and by the way, Springsteen, the way he sings the song is so beautiful, you know. My little sister's in the front seat with an ice cream cone. My mom's in the back seat sitting all alone. And I love how he
Yeah.
sings it. It's
Yeah.
also very like childlike.
Yeah.
And they're doing a test drive and you know, it's all about I think them buying a used car.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And you know,
Which you like, I don't know. Like for me, in a way, that wouldn't be like a happy memory of you being with your family. For Bruce, being in a car, you're all together, your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, is a sad memory for him.
there is some sadness in it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
and just like one of the things that's interesting is that one of the things they used to do, so the poor people, and again, they were poor because they couldn't afford to do some cool fun stuff like normally that we do. One of the
Yeah.
activities was driving down a boulevard or avenue
Yeah. To
and
see the man,
he
just to see the mansions, like in that song, man.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. But I love this song. I just think is it's a little like, you know, it needs more details for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and I think at the end of the day, it's a reflection on the kids. You know, again, something led up to that point as well, where you probably want a new car, but the family could only afford to use one. And I
Right.
remember that. I remember like when my dad was like looking around for cars. I'm like, I'm thinking, how come we just can't buy a new one? Like, why do we have to keep?
Right. Right.
Why do
Right.
you have to get this like beat up? You know, why does my friend's dad? You know, not only me. I think a lot of people in this class had that
Right.
idea. But yeah, this is the American dream seen through the child's eyes.
I see. I get it now from that point. I mean, I at first I was just thinking like, oh, just be happy you have a car. You know what I mean, like that kind of thing.
No.
But I see what you're saying is that standard. The other kids might look at you, make fun of you. Kids could be mean. You know what I mean? Like when
Hmm.
so, but I
Yeah.
didn't realize how poor he was. Like I'm not.
Hmm.
I didn't. I thought he was just like middle class, working class.
No,
Dad.
no. And the thing is, like the mom's family, the Italians, the grandparents were actually kind of well to do. The only problem is that I guess not a problem, but Springsteen says that you know, his mom married his poor Irish dad, right? And because obviously they fell in love and stuff, but they did fall in sort of hard times, both of them working and um, the dad becoming an alcoholic and the working life affecting him to the point where it's Springsteen. Oh, and by the way, the sister became pregnant as a teen.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. And again, I think just going back to the song, I think it's just a kid, you know, in the back seat, and my mom's in the back seat sitting all alone, and my pa steers her slow out of the lot. It's like sort of like a weird reflection memory. Now it's semi autobiographical, but also quite reflecting from a childhood point of view, where you know you can even see like the little kid saying, you know, now Mister, today my number comes in. I ain't never gonna ride a new used car again. Never. Like,
And that's why he stayed in New Jersey when they moved, right?
mm-hmm,
Yeah, they
mm-hmm.
California, I think you said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I get it. I get it now because
No, great song.
I didn't I missed out on. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I got some of the like
No, you no, you got it.
no, but some of my ideology could kind of fit in. You
Well,
know?
you're thinking as a father, which is great. See, you're thinking like the dad in the song, if
Yeah,
anything.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
if it was Springsteen, maybe he's
Maybe because I am a father, and like
100%.
when my kid does say crappy stuff, I'm like, well, thank God you have this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
not that she does, but and the kids could be, and you might say you got a roof over your head, you got this, you got that, and that's what I grew up with. That you got a roof over your head, you got food, be thankful. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Yep. One of my favorites, very underrated. Did you describe the music?
Um,
Kind of similar theme though.
it's nice, quiet guitar picking. I love his dynamics on the acoustic. He'll
Hmm.
go down to nothing where you can't even hear it,
Hmm.
which
Hmm.
I really, really like. Nice story, great vocals, great harmonica in the background, nice pre-chorus. He uses a glockenspiel in the back.
Hmm.
Nice harmonica solo near the end, going over the changes. So yeah. Any comments on the music?
No, I think you got it. It's very one of my favorite songs and acoustic, and one of my favorite acoustic numbers from him.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad you gave me his perspective because I was looking at it that's right. I was looking at it from a father's
Yep.
perspective, which is in a way you kind of could if
Yeah.
you don't know Bruce Springsteen. It's like two
Hmm.
different like viewpoints.
Yeah.
You Okay, so open all night about driving. So the guy had an obsession with cars. Going,
Yep.
it had to go back to the used car as a kid. He must in the
Yep. Yep.
movie. He's buying a new car. I seen the clip from it, and the guy's like, "I know who you are. You're Bruce Springsteen." And they show him buying a brand new car. So cars have been this guy's. Did he collect? He must have collected
He
vintage.
most likely did. Yeah. No, Springsteen. The idea of the car representing freedom. That's
Yeah.
a big thing with Springsteen, especially on It's a big thing. It's very American.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
Especially
you
like
think
the
about it.
Mustang. Going back to the song "Racing in the Street." I got a Chevy 396 with fuel injectors and a hearse on the floor. See, I don't know anything about cars, so he's teaching me about muscle cars.
Well, I think about like the stories I heard from my dad. Like my dad had a 1957 Chevy when he was
Mm,
16, and of course, he didn't know it was going to be a classic car. And he sold it. And like it's like Jesus, Dad, you own a 57 Chevy. You should have kept it. And he had a 72 purple Mustang. Like from the 70s. But you don't know when you're living it. You know what I mean? Like, who's going
mm.
to think a Nissan Kicks is going to be a classic car in 100 years? It might
Nah,
be.
you have to do like you have to be smart and like know what retains value.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like going, oh my God, my dad bought a used Tesla. I'm mad at him. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Did he really?
No, I'm just kidding. No,
Oh, yeah,
no,
yeah, yeah.
I'm joking. I'm like, it's like probably like a little spoiled rich kid might say.
Right, right, right.
Oh, Tesla! I wouldn't have this house. I wouldn't have this house. That'd be more than my house. They're ugly cars. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. I don't think Teslas are gonna retain their value, you know?
No. Um, open all night about driving down the Jersey Turnpike, listening to rock music. It was inspired by, I don't know if you know this guy, William Price Fox, unnamed short story. Um, poet. He's a poet in lyrics. Open road, the atmosphere. Um, maybe he's driving to meet a girl.
Mhm.
Just driving, like you said, an escape. Maybe he's escaping reality. Pearl Jam covered this song. I don't know if you ever heard that. I was trying to find.
Uh, Yeah, he also covered there was another version he covered we talked about. I think it was yeah, but I could see that.
Yeah,
I could see that. And Open All Night is interesting because it has a well, I don't know if you want to talk about the music. Like I said,
yeah. I mean, anything more on the lyrics? You think I got the concept of it?
yeah, I mean it's just a man drives overnight to see his girl.
It, and
Um,
it's like just the idea. I like what you said. Getting in a car is complete freedom.
yep, yep.
You can go anywhere you want in the world. Uh,
Hmm.
So music. It sounds like is it an electric guitar in this song?
I'll be honest with you, I think it is.
Yeah,
And I think it's the only song with electric guitar on the album.
yeah.
It has
Uh,
like a Chuck Berry style riff.
then my next words, very Chuck Berry vibe, 12 bar blues, fast paced song, great rhythm, clean guitar tone,
Mhm.
nice long yell. I love his yells and his ooh,
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
you put
yeah.
at the end of the third verse. Nice steady rhythm, you know.
I like how there's like a weird urgency, like my your eyes get itchy in the wee wee hours. Like it just doesn't let up. Like
Yeah,
it's kind of like manic, which is kind of interesting.
yeah,
And but it has a weird
yeah.
rockabilly sound.
50s rockabilly
Yeah.
kind of.
And I like, again, he's just like, well, I had the carburetor, baby, clean and checked it with the, like, he's just like
It was
going
very Chuck Berry,
very,
we,
very,
we
yeah,
love.
yeah.
This one.
Um,
I'm sorry. Any other comments?
uh, just, no, I think that's it. Pretty good song. I
Yeah,
like it.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Next one, My Father's House.
Okay, we're gonna have fun with this one because
hmm And just timing, Cheech, we have 5 minutes.
oh God, okay.
So
So
we're gonna have to pause here.
um you wanna want me to go over it or you wanna
Yeah, yeah. This is my father's house.
okay. So my father's house. A dream he has a dream of confronting his father as a boy. The next day he goes to his father's house, who he's become how do you say the word estranged,
Estranged.
and attempts to reconnect. But it's too late. His father no longer lives there. A stranger occupies the house, and he has no way to contact his father to see if he's still alive, and he can't make peace with his father. Now, is this autobiographical? Is it true?
So this song, so it, it is autobiographical, but it's universal though, if
Mm-hmm.
that makes sense.
But it's not like, I mean,
But
did he stay with, like, in contact with his father?
yeah, he did. But he was estranged, for a lot of reasons.
But he did not talk to him. Like this song, this guy didn't talk to his father.
But I think there might have been an instant, yeah,
Oh,
where uh Springsteen's, and again, so this is if we take it autobiographically, uh because in real life, so he had a very troubled relationship with his father,
mm-hmm.
um and he also claims that his father was like mentally ill. He always has stories like this. The only thing is that in Springsteen's music though, it his frustration is sort of, and his experiences are sort of filtered in his music.
Right, right.
So this song, it didn't happen like this, but there
Yeah,
definitely is some, like, hints of truth all over the place.
right. Okay. Very sad song. Music, sad guitars, great story. Very slow, simple song. Nice
Mhm.
harmonica solo, nice chords. Has cats in the cradle vibes, has father
Yeah.
vibes. Um, always like being, connected with your father, and the song just ends. So there's that connection he has with his father, good or bad. Good or bad,
hmm
you know.
Yeah, yeah. And Springsteen is well known through his live performances when he shares stories that he had an estranged relationship with his father.
Yeah.
And just reading his autobiography, like you see more of it where, Springsteen really had a hard time with his
So the
dad.
like a mean man, mean to him.
It sounds like, yeah, a little mean. There was one instance where he says that he might have seen him, Springsteen, as sort of like a competitor for his mother's love, and he could feel it.
It's a little twisted.
It's a little, in a way, a little sad, but then Springsteen said, but my dad was the product of the sad Irish blood history and the working class life,
Mm,
which will end up also he became very mentally ill.
yeah, yeah,
So, and again, this song is interesting because it kind of has like a prodigal son vibe from the Bible. So that's like Luke 15,
right.
where, he becomes estranged, like you said, he comes back trying to reconcile. But it's too late. So maybe Springsteen's saying, and this is 1982, his relationship with his father still wasn't the greatest.
Right. I mean, it's
Um,
got to be proud of him at this point.
I hope. That's a good question though, but it still lingered with Springsteen. The famous song that we'll end up talking about, Independence Day, is all about that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's
but
on the right.
the river.
Yeah,
Yeah, but what's sad is he just like very similar to Cats in the Cradle, a father and son. He discovers that it's too late. His father no longer lives there, and now a stranger occupies the house.
yeah,
So, and it's so sad. The narrator is left with no way to contact his father, and
yeah,
he can't even know his father. So it's horrible because it's kind of Springsteen internalizing everything. So
yeah.
this song would be like 50% autobiographical.
Right.
Family wounds, by the way, a lot of family wounds.
And the sister felt the same way.
In a way, yeah, but
Because
Springsteen,
of she got pregnant at an early age, she probably wanted.
yeah, yeah, and Springsteen loved his sister.
Yeah. Wow. Younger.
Younger.
Right.
Yep.
You want to do one more? You have time to do one more, and we'll just wrap it up.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is my favorite one of my favorite songs, Reason to Believe.
Yeah. Reason to believe a man is trying to find hope and redemption in a bleak world. Powerful lyrics, atmospheric disillusionment. Um, hold on. It's hard to hold on to hope, hardship, holding on to meaning when you're in the dark and when you're in the darkness and just keep moving forward. That's basically what I got from it.
Yeah. Vignettes of tragedy where people still believe. At the end of this like depressing album, the key line is at the end of every hard-earned day, people find some reason to believe. Like I love that. And the live version is so good.
Yeah. What did you send me this?
I think so. Like the
Yeah.
live one. It's so good.
Yeah.
And it's clinging to hope despite overwhelming despair, which was the previous tracks on the album.
Right.
It's like, well, at the end of every hard-earned day, I guess people find some reason to believe there's still hope. People are clinging to something.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
reason to believe is also very religious too, right? Because people still believe, and there's a lot of religious imagery in this song. And I have here also faith versus futility. Do you know what that means?
No. You want to explain?
Yeah. So endurance, and I also have here an interesting idea of blind optimism.
Right.
I actually I'm
That
very
I
optimistic.
that I know of, but kind of.
Futility is like the state of being like useless, ineffective, or pointless, or lack of success or purpose. So, despite people being where they are, they still have faith,
Right. You got to believe in something.
right? And I guess I want to ask you, Cheech, the final word. Do you think this is a hopeful song or cynical song? What do you think?
I think it's hopeful
Yep. Same.
because on the end he says, holding on to meaning in the darkest of times to move forward. And we all kind of have gone through that, and you got to hold on to hope, or what do you have left?
Yeah. What do you have? No, and I think that's Springsteen is onto something. And again, this is because at the time he was going through this really dark depression and all his family trauma and family trouble started to resurface in his mind.
Yeah.
And so this song, yeah, I don't know what compelled Springsteen because he's always in a way kind of been religious.
Yeah.
Um, he one of the interesting lines here is take a baby to the river. Kyle Willem, they called him. Wash the baby in the water. Take away little Kyle's sin, right? Baptism,
Yeah.
regeneration, rebirth. In a whitewashed shotgun shack, an old man passes away. Take the body to the graveyard. Over him they pray. And then Springsteen said, Lord, won't you tell us what does it mean that at the end of every hard-earned day, that people find some reason to believe. And another great line is congregation gathers down by the riverside. Preacher stands with a Bible, again, religious imagery. Groom stands waiting for his bride. Congregation gone, the sun sets. Behind a weeping willow tree, groom stands alone and watches the river brush on so effortlessly. So I don't know exactly what happened there, but
Yeah.
I guess the bride didn't come. Um, Wondering where can his baby be? Still, at the end of every hard-earned day, people find some reason to believe. So it's kind of like symbolic
Yeah.
and metaphorical that hope, despite the darkness, is the key and
Yeah.
optimism. So I agree with you. It's optimistic.
Yeah. It has that.
But it's depressing. I mean, it's like,
Oh, it's a depressing song, but there is optimism in
yep,
it. And
yep, in
the
a very Springsteenian sense.
look at like all these people that are diagnosed with say like a disease where they're gonna die. A lot of
Yeah,
survive.
yeah, with hope, which is secret. And
They're
Viktor Frankl, that's what he observed
at
in
good point.
the concentration camps, where the people that lost hope were actually the ones that died really fast and
Yeah.
first. The people that still clung to hope survived.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of like that. Springsteen's wrestling with this idea. It's hope in a higher power, hope in something.
Right.
So, and this is gonna lead him to, sort of like wrestling a little bit.
Right. Musically, it's great. Harmonica opens the
Mhm.
song. Driving rhythm has a blues feel. Goes
Yeah,
soft at the very end. You can hear a hiss, in the back, like
yeah.
almost um, the recording was cutting out or something. Uh, it ends with harmonica solo, very Dylan. It just ends. It just ends on the song. Like how Dylan like wasn't know where he was going half the time, and they just
Yeah.
ended. So that's very Dylan thing, probably planned. You know,
Hmm.
I got to say one thing about Bruce Springsteen that I learned from learning. I always knew Bruce Springsteen is so good. It's like you got to know it's him, and you're like, well, why is it him? There's elements to this guy, you know.
Hmm.
One, what makes that Jersey sound? I know you got to go, but like, well, his voice, number one, the E Street Band, the piano and the organ,
Hmm.
saxophone. Without the saxophone, I don't think it would be New Jersey. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It kind of, but something that's overlooked. What do you think? You have any idea what you think that might be in the music?
Hmm. I have a lot to say. Like, what makes a New Jersey sound?
Well, what everything I said, the E Street Band, the piano, the organ,
Right.
uh, the the lyrics, the songs, the story about the father, working class,
Mm.
Bruce's voice, Clarence is so sax solo. His the solo just when you hear any solo in a rock song, you think of Bruce Springsteen because that's
Yeah.
he put that.
Yeah.
But there's one thing, and I realized it. Why I always liked him. He's got a special thing in his music.
What? Oh, so you're asking me what is it?
What do you think it is? It's key. It's really key too.
Let's see. His look.
Well, his looks a part of the package.
Let's
Come,
see. His singing style.
no, he has his own style. He has a storytelling.
Guitar playing.
You're on the right track.
Acoustic picking.
Bruce
Dylan-esque.
Bruce has a way of strumming his guitar
Mm.
like nobody in the world. He's
You
got
would know that because you're the music
like
expert.
ding, 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 you know what I mean? And like I'm like, what is so different about this guy? And it's his strumming. Nobody strums like that, and that's a giant key sound to his sound.
Hmm.
So I noticed that on this album only because it's acoustic.
Right,
And
right. That's a great observation. And you would pick. See, I love see without even knowing that. I love his. If I would have to describe like what makes his sound unique, it's Springsteen, right?
yeah, so I mean, so many elements go into Bruce Springsteen. You can't
Yep,
you can't pick
yep.
one. The sax, the great stories, the lyrics. His voice is like nobody else. He's a great singer, and you can't
Hmm.
compare him to Dylan. You can't compare him to Bruce Dickinson. He's Bruce Springsteen. That's what makes him so good. Um, but when you hear "Born to Run," "Darkness on the Edge of Town," "The River," there's something there, and you're like, "What is it?" And it's that strum.
Yeah,
that
which we'll talk about more. I think that won't be
you,
the end of this. But.
no, no, his strumming is so, and I saved that for the end. I
Mhm.
know, we got a couple minutes. The cover, great cover, and I think it has a lot to do with Starkweather's chase at the very end of his life.
Mhm.
He was getting chased by the cops because um, it's a black and white photo of a blacktop road under a cloudy sky, taken from a windshield of a car,
Mhm.
taken it by David Michael Kennedy. Bruce did not want to be in the in the album cover himself.
Mhm.
The cover matches the album's tone perfectly.
Mhm.
It appears in bright letters, Nebraska, and I really think from just researching Starkweather had a lot to do with cars.
In a way, yeah. I mean, not only him. I just think that idea of that time,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
runaway cars, like Bonnie and Clyde.
yeah. Or
Um,
or I could be wrong in just him being in a car. Bruce
he,
Springsteen just liked to be in a car, and he's behind
right.
the steering wheel driving.
No, but in terms of the album, I agree with you. Any one of the characters um on the what he sings about in Nebraska could be behind the wheel. It's kind of very haunting.
Could be his dad.
Could
Have
be. I
drive.
mean, the key here thing though is you have to look at, what they're staring at. There,
Right.
it's an open road. It's cloudy. It's stark. I don't think it could be his dad. Like, I could be anyone on the run. It could be it could be the son in my father's house, on his way back to
But
see.
you don't think it's his dad with a used car? No. Okay.
No, just because of the album cover, it's
Yeah.
depicting on the open road.
Right. Right. It could be him driving to see that girl.
That could be the character from from Open All Night.
It
Could
could
be
be the dude from that punk band, Suicide.
Yeah, yeah, could be. It's a
You know.
great album cover, and you're right. It's interesting because it's the few that he's not in it, and another interesting detail is that it looks like it's taken from the passenger side. I think that's pretty interesting too.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
And it has a lot to do with lyrically and song titles has a lot to do with cars,
hmm
and the cover of it is a car.
hmm
So that's that makes it what it is. So that's about it for Nebraska. I think one of his best albums. So people out there, our fans and stuff, check out Nebraska. You know,
Listen to Nebraska. Now, I would say it's not the first album you should. If you're new to Springsteen, it's
yeah,
not the first one.
no,
Listen to Born to Run first, if anything, and then start listening. Actually, matter of fact, listen to Born to Run and Born in the USA, and then listen to Nebraska.
yeah, yeah, or the river, or just go through the chronological.
Yeah, starting with Born to Run.
Yeah, which is his masterpiece. And then it leads to, but you got to know his story leading up to this too.
A lot,
Because
yeah,
a lot of people might maybe in 1982 were like, okay, yeah, Born to Run, Darkness on Your Edge of Sound. I got a Hungry Heart. It's on the radio. I love it. What the hell is this?
hmm
What? Is this his new album? I
it would have caught a lot of people by surprise because
probably
he.
turned off a lot of people with this album at first.
Good thing he released Born in the USA.
I mean, if you put out another Nebraska or tried to pull like a Dylan, it would have been. But
Yeah,
the guy got like he's hit by lightning twice.
yeah,
In the USA, great albums after that, Nebraska, and then he has this phenomenal. I mean, Born to Run. Before that, Born in the USA comes out. MTV comes out. He
yeah.
becomes America's icon.
And you know what's interesting? We'll talk about more of it when we cover Born to Run, but Born to Run is actually a pretty dark album
Yeah,
when you look at what's underneath. So he's just continuing that. The only difference is this time the E Street Band talk about like, and that sign that used to like that strumming.
yeah.
It's on the forefront on Born in the USA, where something
Oh,
just clicked. Everything was leading up to this,
yeah.
So you have Springsteen's iconic rock style
Hmm.
combined with what he was exploring with in Nebraska. The
Let's
like,
just say, and I know we always put things in rush terms. Born Born to Run is 2112.
Yeah.
Nebraska is like Caress of Steel. It's a gem you got to go kind of back to,
Yeah.
and Born in the USA is Moving Pictures.
Yeah.
I think that
That's
that
not too bad for our viewers, our Rush fans out there. Well, if anything, I would say Crest of Steel. Actually, no, I would kind of put it differently.
okay.
The Innocent, the East Street Shuffle is his Caress of Steel.
Yeah, I don't know that. I don't know that.
Dude, that could be another one that you could we could talk about. That one is his Crest of
That
Steel.
second album.
Why it was didn't do well, I have no idea.
Yeah, that was.
No, so if anything, I would say this one would be his if I had to think. Could it be equivalent to Chris Steele though?
Yeah.
I think so. A lot of people kind of like brush it aside, but you really need to listen to it
Well,
too.
the E Street Shuffle, I think, has a lot to do with them putting more money or faith into Billy Joel at that time.
Uh could be, but I think there's more to it than that though. But dude, gotta end here. This is great. This
Yep.
wraps up Nebraska, and then what's the next Springsteen album we're covering?
Born to Run.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're,
Yeah.
we're leaping. We're going backwards.
Yep.
We got Born to Run. Then I did Darkness on the Edge of Town.
And we'll go in order from that point. The River and then Born in the
And the
USA.
River, I told you yesterday, I just started. Oh my God, that's
Hmm.
a tough one to write.
It's a monster.
And I think, with Born to Run coming out, Nebraska coming out, I think we should just do a one true crime with Starkweather because it's
Yeah.
so connected. And
Yeah.
I'm just insanely obsessed with that lunatic right now, as I
Yeah.
get with serial killers. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, man, I know you got to go, and this was great. Another
Hmm.
episode on Bruce Springsteen, phenomenal. We did
Hmm.
our pre-show a while back
Hmm.
about what's to come, and we did it. And this is 52 now.
Yeah, I don't even know, but it's one of the
Yeah,
50s,
and
depending on how it comes out.
everything comes out, Coda and everything else.
Mm.
We'll be up to 60 in no time. So
Hmm. Hmm.
but great 50th show, by the way. I really enjoyed that. Got a lot of compliments.
Yeah, man. Everybody, check out our 50th show. So,
Yeah, check it out. All right, man.
all right, Cheech.
You have a
I'll
good
see you, brother.
pleasure.
Yes, sir. Till next one.
Yes.
We'll be on Born to Run.
Take care, brother.
You too.
Bye bye.